one receives the prize. With Odessa Permian and the Wildcats going head-to-head, it was the Wildcats, Temple Wildcats, that won the prize. But there are contests even more important than football. The Scripture says that we ought to run so as to win in our Christian life. For that reason, I'm preaching a series, Feet to Prayers, Believing and Building. Every Sunday morning at First Baptist Church of Temple, in downtown Temple, 820 and 1055, we're looking at Ezra and Nehemiah and finding principles from God's Word about how we can build and effectively win for Him. We'd like you to come. 1 hour your time. It'll make a difference in your life. First Baptist Church of Temple, 820 or 1055. Come join with us in the discussion, Feet to Prayers, Believing and Building. Run so that you may obtain, Wildcats, and run so that you may obtain, Christian person. Come join us for Feet to Prayers, Believing and Building.
This is Temple Wildcat Football, 1992. Brought to you by Johnson Brothers Ford, King's Daughters Hospital, Cafe on the Square in Georgetown, Harper Tolossic Funeral Home, and Jim Tranum GMC Trucks.
They're ranked number 1 in Class 5A in Texas, but the Temple Wildcats may face their stiffest challenge yet as they take on the San Angelo Central Bobcats in a critical 5A non-district matchup. Hello, everybody. I'm Cliff Brown, along with Gordon Marshall and Mark Darmstead, as we present Texas High School Football 1992. Well, the game of the year, supposedly, was last week as Temple took on Odessa Permian. They won that contest by a score of 20-14, and they're still talking about it in Temple.
That's right, Cliff, and they'll be talking about that game for a number of years. San Angelo hopes the Wildcats will talk about it for at least one more week. Tonight, the Wildcats are going to have to refocus and reload and get ready for a tough Bobcat team.
Okay, now, Gordon, we talk about the San Angelo Central team, not with Shea Morantz, but they are deadly, and they are loaded again this season.
They really are, Cliff. They present a tremendous challenge for the Wildcats, both offensively and defensively. Their offense comes into tonight's game ranked number 4th state ranking, averaging over 460 yards a game. They'll present a problem on defense by blitzing and giving the Temple quarterback a hard time trying to get to him, trying to make something happen. So it'll be a stiff test tonight for the Wildcats.
Okay, now the Bobcats certainly are a strong team, and they have a veteran returning crew because last season they finished as semifinalists, losing out to eventual state champion Killeen.
They did. They're very talented. They've moved a defensive back from last year to quarterback this year, Ben Montgomery, and he's a catalyst, and a lot of tonight's success will rest on his shoulders for the Central Bobcats.
Okay, now, what are we talking about when it comes to the keys to success for the Temple Wildcats tonight?
Well, Cliff, I think the keys to success tonight are going to be a great effort by the Wildcat defense. They're going to be tested in the air. They can throw the ball and run the football. The Wildcats are also going to need to run the football a little bit better on offense and help control the tempo of the ball game.
Well, there's no question about it. We're in for an exciting football game right here in San Angelo, Texas. We'll be back for the opening kickoff right after this.
One dealer, one event, one price. It's the Johnson Brothers Ford One Price Clearance Sale, where we've received our final huge shipment of 92s, and they're all one price to save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Like the 92 full-size truck, regular, and super cab models. Johnson Brothers has over 100 F-Series in stock, and every one price includes a just-announced $1,000 factory rebate. Or choose from our large selection of 92 Ranger super cabs, all one price before you get here to save you money. Johnson Brothers Ford. Take the Adams Avenue exit off I-35 in Temple.
King's Daughters Hospital announces something really worth celebrating. It's the Women's Connection, a special program at King's Daughters especially for women. With healthcare services, seminars, classes, support groups, and much more. Even a special information line just for women. The Women's Connection. All kinds of services for all kinds of women. To find out more, call the Women's Connection today.
Welcome, everyone, to San Angelo, Texas, as Temple's own Danny Laguna kicked it out of the end zone. Central Bobcats will take over first place scrimmage from their own 20-yard line.
Cliff, Danny's really been kicking that ball well lately. He's hit 2 out of the end zone last week and starts the ball game off this week with a ball out of the end zone. Really helps your defense to start on the 20-yard line.
So San Angelo sporting a 1-1 record and featuring Ben Montgomery as the starting quarterback. Will have the first opportunity on offense tonight as they test this Temple defensive unit. 2 men out wide.
That's a guard around play right there, I believe.
And a little trickery right off the bat, Gordon. It's incredible.
Coach McQueen is familiar with Coach Gandy and has said to expect anything on offense from the Central Bobcats, and they have started off with a bang here tonight.
But there is a flag on the play, and it's going to be against San Angelo Central. So the Bobcats are going to wipe that one off the books, and they'll start all over as they mark off the yardage.
I know Coach Chuck Haig's been very pleased with the defensive secondary efforts this year. They've really played well. Tonight they're going to get the strongest test as far as throwing the football they've had this year with the Bobcats.
Well, they'll spot the ball at about the 11-yard line of the Bobcats. First and 19 to go. In case you just joined us, we're here in San Angelo, Texas, as the Temple Wildcats take on the San Angelo Central Bobcats. Montgomery sends a man in motion. He's going to pass. Complete. And what a nice pass that time as he hit Ryan King, who is the go-to receiver for the Bobcats.
He really is, Cliff. Ryan had a big game against Killeen. He caught 226 yards on 9 catches and scored 4 touchdowns against Killeen. In a loss, 40-36, San Angelo lost that game, but they can really put some points on the board.
Ben Montgomery, the 185-pound senior, looks over, takes the snap. They're going to pick up a first down and then some as we see Montgomery on a keeper play.
Well, Montgomery is no stranger to keeping the football. He rushed for 148 yards last week against Ellison on very similar plays. They like to run the option as one of their base running plays. Already, San Angelo's been in about 3 different formations, and we heard that they will get in all sorts of different multiple formations during the ball game to move the football.
Spot the ball at about the 34-yard line of the Bobcats. Montgomery looking to pass, gets a rush, and they're going to sack him. I don't know whether they're going to call that an incomplete pass. Almost delivered a grounding, but I think the whistle is before he started, Gordon.
They're going to reel him down at the 28-yard line. Yes, they could have called intentional grounding on that play. He hit his offensive lineman in the back with a ball.
Ball is now spotted on the 35-yard line. Correction. About the 28. We misread the scoreboard that time, and that opportunity through the line of scrimmage didn't go anywhere.
Good stop by the right side of the Wildcat defensive line, getting absolutely nothing on that second down play. That's Benny Jones for the Bobcats. He had about 156 yards last week, number 31. He's a fine player. He's a senior this year.
Third down, 17 to go for San Angelo Central. Long yardage needed here. Montgomery going to drop back deep, looks for receivers, gets rushed. They're going to sack him. They call the fumble, and the Wildcats recover it. Maybe. Yes, sir. Temple cuts it off on San Angelo 25-yard line.
Well, this is an excellent start for the Wildcat defense. They've got to play well tonight. They're going to be under a lot of pressure, and to have a good series like that to start off with is terrific for the Wildcats. You know, when you're playing well, things just kind of happen for you. These Wildcats are really building a lot of good intangible qualities, and there again, the defense comes up with a big play.
Big break for Temple. They'll have the ball. They'll spot it on the 25-yard line of San Angelo. Adrian Woodson. Hands off. And they really pick up the first down on the first play of scrimmage from Temple.
So Wilson running the football. He's doing a great job. He's running hard. The Wildcats would like to get off early tonight running the football. Last week they at times ran well, but overall the Odessa defense was pretty stingy against the run.
Second down and 2 for Temple. Woodson. Somehow scrambles down and going to score a touchdown. Temple with the flag on the play. Hold everything.
I believe we've got a clip in the back downfield, and that play will be called back, I believe. But Adrian really did a great job of keeping his legs turning and broke out of the pack that time.
My goodness, what a play. What kind of play was that, fellas?
It was a quarterback draw, I believe, wasn't it, Gordon? I'm not sure if he was looking for a receiver and just had to pull it down or not, but it was... What's the call, Cliff?
Well, I don't know. I didn't see the referee's indication, but as he marks it off, I can tell you one thing. It does nullify that touchdown. It marks it off back up to about the 21-yard line.
Illegal block by the Wildcats. You like to see the receivers block downfield. That time we took a shot and got a guy in the back, but good effort downfield. You just have to correct those mistakes. But the Wildcats look good early in the game on offense.
Woodson's receivers out wide just right, but hands off along the left side. Still finds some running room. Oh, my, what a nice touchdown.
Delarius Wilson.
Number 22, Delarius Wilson, the leading rusher, who has 35 carries for 120 yards so far this season, and that's just in the first 2 games. He brings the ball down to the 10-yard mark of San Angelo. Now the Bobcats had really better hold on. They're in deep trouble as Temple is driving with 8:40 left in his first quarter of play. No score. Receivers out wide to the right and to the left as Woodson hands off right up the middle. Again, the call going to Wilson. This time he's picked up. Still at the line of scrimmage. Good.
Well, the Wildcats are trying to spread them out on the field, spreading their receivers almost to each sideline. And right now, San Angelo is sitting back in a zone-type defense trying to play the Wildcats. We'll be looking to see if they try to play some man or if they're going to stay in a zone defense.
Again, they spread receivers out on both sides. Woodson looking, fires across the middle. Touchdown! Temple Wildcats. Oh,
Damian Johnson, great catch. The defenders tried to break in front, and Damian kept his concentration and caught the football. Great play. Mark, that time they did change it. Temple changed it up. They were in a man that time, and Damian beat his man across the middle. The man was about two yards behind Damian as he made the good catch there and jumped in the end zone. Well, you know, on the goal line, Gordon, the drag pass, drag across field on a bootleg is a great play to call, and that was a great play and well executed by the Wildcats.
The kick is up. And it's good as the Temple Wildcats draw first blood with 7:51 left in this first quarter of play. They lead by the score of 7-0 San Angelo Central. We'll be back right after this.
What can you do with $20? Take it to your Central Texas GMC truck dealers in Temple and Killeen, and you'll be amazed what $20 can do. Just combine your $20 with the factory rebate available on new Jimmys, Sonomas, or GMC vans. With the rebate assigned to dealer, your down payment is only $20. So come to Jim Tranum in Temple or Cleo Bay in Killeen. But hurry, see what $20 can do at your Central Texas GMC truck dealer.
G. Willie's now has the most exciting game in Central Texas. QB1, the interactive TV game where you play along during live professional and college football games and can compete for valuable prizes nationally. Large portions of great food and a lively and entertaining atmosphere sure to please the entire family. G. Willie's, with the largest big-screen TV in Central Texas and the only place you can play along with QB1, the interactive TV game. G. Willie's, just east of the mall on the loop, Temple.
Welcome back to San Angelo, Texas, as the Temple Wildcats prepare to kick off following a very successful touchdown effort. It leads by 7-0. Kick goes down the left sideline and heads toward out of bounds, and it will do just exactly that.
Did he touch the ball?
Well,
Yes, he did.
There's a discussion. It looks like a bobble by San Angelo Central. Oh, my, what a costly mistake by the receiver that time. And they'll mark the ball in a bounce. It looks about like the 7-yard line. Had he left the football alone, it would have eventually gone out of bounds, and they would have had to try it all over again. Instead, they have 93 yards to go for a touchdown, and San Angelo quickly, in this first period, burying themselves in a hole, although they have shown a tendency to have a very explosive offense in the first two games of this season.
That's right, Cliff. They're in a double slot with one back offense right now, putting a lot of pressure on the Wildcat defense.
Ben Montgomery on a keeper. Rush. They'll sack him. He'll lose yardage all the way back and almost into the end zone for a safety. They'll stop the ball and on bounds. Well, they're going to say his defense granted right at the 5-yard mark. And boy, I'll tell you what, the Temple defense was all over him like a tick on a dog.
They're really playing well, and they've got to play very disciplined tonight on option plays, make sure they take their man, and also watch for trick plays. So the Wildcats have a big test on defense from a discipline perspective.
Again, Montgomery has double receivers on each side. He's going to pass. He's going to have a quick pass in and out of the hands, and that time it was intended for number 85, Mark Menchaca, the 170-pound junior receiver, played tight end. And they were flooding the zone at that time, if I'm not mistaken.
They were. They have a very good passing scheme at San Angelo. This isn't the ideal spot to throw the football from, but I look for them to throw some kind of intermediate type route here.
Key third down play here, 3rd and 12, as Montgomery's going to go on a fly pattern right down the middle. He's got a receiver, but it was well covered that time, and so it's incomplete. That time he threw a kind of a rainbow pass to Elliott Bowman, the 150-pound speedy sophomore. Well covered again, Gordon, by the defensive secondary of Temple. That may be their very strength.
It is, Cliff. They have a good group of returning starters there, and with a lot of speed and a lot of experience, and they were had that play well covered and well defended. The Wildcats get great field position here. That was a big play by the defense. We'll see if Damian and Greg Steele can get a return here.
Michael Johnson punting from his own end zone. Gets a great punt. Great hang time. He's going to be fielded on about the 47 of San Angelo. And a nice return all the way down to the 33-yard line by the Temple crew. Carrying the ball that time.
Greg Steele, great return on that play. He was hit really well by the San Angelo defense, but again, the Wildcats set up shop on about the 32, 33-yard line. Great field position.
So right now they're knocking on the door again as we see Adrian Wilson, the quarterback, who had 19 of 33 passes for 393 yards and 5 TDs in just 2 games so far this season. And he'll hand off a draw right up the middle, and my, what a nice piece of roadage he found right up the middle all the way down to the 19-yard line.
Well, we said early in the ball game, I believe that Temple wanted to establish the run and get a good job of running the football going. Obviously, great blocking by the offensive line on that particular play.
It is interesting to note that Delarius Wilson, the fullback for Temple, is 150 pounds soaking wet, but he is a bundle of dynamite, isn't he, Gordon?
That he is, and about 5'8" on what Coach McQueen calls a tall day.
Woodson drops back short, looks for a receiver, the left flat, fires, and is it complete?
What a tremendous throw that was. He buzzed that ball right by a defender's knee on that play. Great catch, good concentration on the receiver's part.
And it looked like that time it was a the football, but the officials were right on top of it and said, no, indeed, it is a completion. Mark it down at the 15, 2nd and 5, as Temple knocks on the door again. Woodson hands off the middle again to Wilson. Wilson this time bangs up the middle after a pickup of maybe a yard and a half. You got to wonder how San Angelo Central is scouting in their scouting report how they thought they would stop the Temple attack, because if Temple doesn't run against you, they'll pass against you, and they do both well.
Well, Adrian was 14 for 19 last week for 231 yards. So obviously he had a great night passing last week. I would think that's the first thing San Angelo would like to take away.
3rd and 4. Woodson hands off again to Wilson. Wilson plowing through to the right side. Cruises down to about the 9-yard line.
Well, that'll give the Wildcats first down, a new set of downs. Running very well tonight behind Mark Beards and Russell Goldner. Scott Marvick, the tight end.
And I'll tell you what, Wilson's got to have some serious strength, doesn't he, even though he's not tall.
He's very elusive. He's very strong. We talked about the Central defense a while ago. If you'll watch, they're a little bit unusual. Their defensive ends, they'll tee off every play. They'll try to wreak havoc in the backfield. They do have an unusual defensive scheme that they're lined up in tonight. We'll see how effective it is.
First and goal from the 9-yard line is in a man in motion, this time to the left. Handoff on the left side. He'll walk in and catch. Touchdown, Temple Wildcats. Oh, my. With 4:45 left in the first quarter, Temple is absolutely red hot.
The Wildcats ran a little motion that time, came across the formation. The hole opened up just beautifully, and Wilson just ran straight through it. He's got such great acceleration. Wildcats are looking very good running the football. Of course, the thing about it against the San Angelo team, Gordon, you can never have enough points. I was just fixing to say, it's good to have a lead because this San Angelo Central team is quite explosive.
The kick is up. And it's good. So, with 4:45 left in the first period, Temple Wildcats lead by a score of 14-0. And the Temple Wildcats have taken advantage of one big turnover. And they have had a great defensive effort to give them good field position for their second drive. And they have that machine clicking in playoff season form right now. And you've got to believe that Coach Bob McQueen is happy thus far with what he sees out on the field.
You know, interestingly enough, Cliff, last year they ran the football about 60% of their yardage and threw for 40. And this year it's just the opposite. They've thrown for about 60. So I'm sure Coach McQueen is very pleased to see his running game get going and be as successful as it's been so far tonight.
The extra point was kicked by Janet McGanna, and that's his second for the night, the 175-pound senior. And Danny will get ready to kick off. Once more, we will see how the San Angelo Central offensive unit is going to react, being 14 points behind. Boot drives him way back into the back of the end zone where the touchback in San Angelo starts from their own 20-yard line. Boy, I'll tell you what, when you're hot, everything is clicking for the Wildcats tonight.
Well, it really is, and the defense has really begun to take charge of the defensive line there, stopping the option. That's a favorite of Central last week. Stopping the passes, favorite of Central the first week. So maybe Temple's found the number here.
There was some concern at the beginning of this ball game that Temple might be a bit down after that tremendous effort last week. Obviously not so, at least so far. As we see Montgomery pitch out wide to his left, and he did it so successfully.
Elliot Bowman on the pitch. He's a sophomore. From what we understand, he's a very exciting football player.
And Bowman did an outstanding job of running the football all the way up to his own 33.5-yard line, where they pick up a first down, and that may be, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, is that their first down running for the night?
Second. The quarterback did make one there, a good 17-yard run there in the first possession.
Montgomery's going to throw a little screen, complete. He finds a great receiver, and the receiver drives the ball all the way out to the 45-yard line. Boy, that's the way you draw it on the chalkboard, fellas.
Well, that time they had trip receivers to the right side of the field, and one of those receivers delayed and came in for a middle screen, a very effective play. But the Wildcats did a pretty good job of reacting on defense and holding that play to minimal yardage.
First down on the 45-yard line as the Bobcats come up to the line of scrimmage. Three receivers out on the right side, but he's going to throw out into the left flat, in and out of the hands this time. He tried to hit Ryan King, the go-to receiver, and it was incomplete. I think probably what made the screen work so well for San Angelo is the aggressive pursuit by Temple's defense to get it, and they are just all over quarterback Jim Montgomery so far tonight.
Well, they need to get in a groove, San Angelo does, and have a few successful plays to get this thing going.
Second down and 10. Montgomery with a long count. Pump fake once, pump fake twice, being pursued. Can't find a receiver. Fires and lets it go out to the left flat. And he did have a receiver out there, but he's actually the receiver was double covered.
Just a great play by Tony Lott. They tried to run a stop and go on that play, and the quarterback pumped, and Tony hit the receiver and knocked him off stride and kept him from going deep. Just a super play by Tony Lott.
Gordon, we're going to see a lot of passes going to Ryan King. That was one of Shea Moran, last year's blue chip quarterback for San Angelo Central's favorite receiver, and he's got great hands.
He does, and he had over 800 yards last year in receptions, and he's also got excellent speed.
Another long yardage situation on third down. Montgomery back, looks to his left, fires, complete. Oh, he said it's in and out of the hands, incomplete. Again, that time he tried to get Vinny Dupree, the 190-pound junior.
Wildcats getting excellent pressure, number 75 that time, Mark Churchwell, getting in his face, caused him to throw the football high.
So, another punting situation for San Angelo Central. As we see punter Michael Johnston back at his own 32-yard line.
Cliff, that series still gives you an idea of the kind of potent offense they have.
Nice punt taken on the 25-yard line of the Wildcats, and immediately down to an aggressive pursuit.
Great hit, super hit, great coverage. I'm impressed so far with Central's punt coverage. They're really hitting the return men.
So the Wildcats will start on their own 25-yard line, and this is the first time in the whole football game so far they started in their own territory.
That's right, Cliff. The first touchdown drive was 22 yards, and second was 32. So this time they start in their own end of the field.
Handoff, delayed draw right up the middle.
Number 22.
One of the things the Wildcats would like to do tonight is control the football, go on some long drives and eat up some clock.
I tell you what, when you hand off to Larry Wilson, you know that you're handing off to a young man who's going to get that extra yardage on every given play. He just has that kind of power and drive. Brings the ball up to about the 29-yard line, where it's second and about 6. Woodson on a keeper, found a hole, and he's got lots of running room. He picks up first down yardage and then some, and nearly crosses into Bobcat territory as they spot the ball on the 48-yard line. And that's what makes Adrian Wilson, the Temple quarterback, so very dangerous. He can pass, he can run, he can sell popcorn in the stands. He's a multi-talented youngster.
Wildcats are going up the middle very well tonight, right up the middle of the field. You know, the defensive ends from Central force them to do that. They try to wreak havoc on the outside. If you'll watch them, they just tee off every down. Here they come, just like a sprint. It forces the Wildcats to go up the middle, and they're doing a pretty good job of it right now.
Oh, my, what a nice run by Wilson. Started up the middle and then skirted out to the right side, got around the outside, went along the right sideline, and they finally dragged him down as the Bobcats make it the 34-yard line, correction.
Beautiful run.
It's about the 34 and a half, 33. They are clicking on all cylinders. I tell you what, it's very obvious that the Bobcats defensive unit is very much respectful of Adrian Woods' passing ability because they spread that defensive secondary, and that's allowing the running game to go real, real well.
Well, Temple has a very senior-oriented offense, and they're taking advantage of some things right now. San Angelo has 6 underclassmen on defense, so I'm sure this is a learning experience for them going up against this wide-open, spread-the-field attack that the Wildcats have.
And, Gordon, you don't get much bigger in the front-forward offensive line than what Temple shows.
No, you really don't. They're averaging well over 240 pounds with Mike Lawrence at center now. No backs in the backfield.
Woodson looking, fires, has a man wide open across the middle, and it's in and out of his hands.
Horace Tisdale. Well, that play was open. I'm sure you'll see the Wildcats come back to it. The San Angelo defense has given up quite a number of points this year. They've given up around 37 points a game on defense.
Third down, 9. 1:34 left in this first quarter. Temple very much in control with a 14-0 lead. It's in the man in motion.
Here they come.
Woodson looks, finds that same receiver cutting across to the middle from the right, across the left. He's trying to get Damian Johnson. By the way, that's the leading receiver for the Wildcats.
Damian has a great average per catch. I think he's averaging over 30 yards a catch, about 31 yards, and Derek Bates, who's injured tonight, is averaging about 29 yards a catch. So those are some dangerous receivers.
Well, if San Angelo Central, Gordon, thought that the Temple Wildcats and Coach Bob McQueen were going to come into this contest flat, they are sadly mistaken, because these people are just on fire and very much in control of this ball game, although it's very, very early.
It is, but they are up to form. They do have their poise and their discipline. They're very concentrated. They're very focused, and that's a mark of a quality ball club, and that's what they're building this year. Well, I believe the Wildcats took that penalty intentionally, Cliff, to back them up just a little bit because they're going to try to pooch the ball down inside the 10-yard line and pin them back deep.
I thought for a minute we were going to see a field goal attempt. They got the wind at their back, and it's a pretty, if you look at the flag in the end zone, it looks like a pretty nice breeze. This is a beautiful stadium here in San Angelo, the home of San Angelo Central and, of course, San Angelo State. And the Bobcats are still coming off the effects of last year's semifinal season, in which they had the #1 nationally ranked quarterback, Steve Moran, now at the University of Texas.
That's interesting, Cliff. It's kind of a chess game. San Angelo refused the penalty on that play.
So now we're going to see a punt by Richard Matea. Matea obviously will try to either pooch kick it or kick it in the corner, and that's what he's going for, the corner, but he got so close.
I believe, yes, just barely it got in the
And
end
he
zone.
couldn't have missed that goal line by more than a yard. Great effort by Richard Matea, who has a 34.3 yards per average punting. So San Angelo takes over from their own 20-yard line with 1:22 left in this first quarter. They trail the Temple Wildcats 14-0.
Cliff, it seems like we've seen a lot of football, but there's still 1:22 left in the first quarter.
Well, if you like wide-open football, you need to be here in San Angelo, Texas. This is a great contest. Handoff right up the middle that time by Montgomery to... Let's spot it.
Benny Jones.
I believe you're right. Benny Jones, the 180-pound senior. He gets little, if any, yardage, maybe a yard. Now, Gordon, these 2 games so far for the Temple Wildcats, you've got to believe that the win last week certainly was their biggest, but it doesn't appear that they're dwelling on that. They're taking care of business here tonight.
They really are. They're focused. They're in tune to tonight's game and doing a heck of a job now. Here's a big, deep long
what a
play.
fantastic pass
Greg
by Ben
Steele.
Montgomery, broken up by Greg Steele.
Great
Right at the
defensive
last
play.
minute.
Well, that shows you why Greg Steele is a great player. He's got about 4 or 5 speed, and he closed on the football beautifully that time. tell you, Ben Montgomery has a pretty good arm there. I'm not sure how many yards in the air that was, but that was a pretty good pass.
Yes, that pass was approximately 50 yards in the air.
Into the wind.
And what I'm looking for here is this another Shea Moran we have here? This is a multi-talented team from San Angelo. Make no mistake, they have a 1-1 record. They've been able to score a lot of points so far this season, 71-77. Montgomery, again, passes down the right sideline, and again, good coverage to break up the pass. The defensive secondary, as you both have noted, is particularly strong for Temple, and they stay right with those receivers.
They really do, and of course, Ben Montgomery is the all-district defensive back last year, so even though they moved him to quarterback and he didn't play last year, he's obviously a very skilled player, and he has performed very well so far this year.
Cliff, you talked about the secondary. Coach Chuck Haig coaches the secondary there for the Wildcats, and he's doing an outstanding job this year.
He really is, Gordon, and of course the players have responded so well.
Punting situation for San Angelo, and they rushed him, and they forced a short, high punt. Gets a fairly decent roll, but by and large, it's great field position for the Temple Wildcats as they mark the ball at about the San Angelo 43-yard line. Once again, Coach Bob McQueen's crew have an excellent opportunity and may, with 22 seconds left in this first quarter of play, may go for a home run play here to try to get on the scoreboard.
For the third time in the first quarter, Temple starts in Central Territory. The first two touchdown drives covering 32 and 22 yards respectively.
Pass complete from Woodson.
That's Greg Watson on the reception. He was an uncovered receiver that time.
He was, Jordan. They lined up, and they played way off him on that play. Of course, he had a great game, Watson did last week against Odessa Sunday.
Let's see where they mark the ball. About the 33-yard line. They're bringing out the chains. We'll see how close it is for that first down. 6 seconds left in this first period of play. Temple leading 14-0.
One thing you notice about the Wildcats is how they spread the football around as far as their receivers. Before this ball game, Damien had caught 4, Derek Bates had caught 4, Greg Watson 6, and Scott Marvick 3. So Adrian is really moving the football around and hitting the open receivers.
Well, they stretched the chain out. Apparently, he's going to be just a little bit short. Third down and just a matter of inches.
I think it'll be second, and it'll be what amounts to a free down. We'll see what the Wildcats decide to do with 6 seconds left. He's going to start the clock, and I believe that's going to be all for the first quarter here.
You're absolutely correct. As the buzzer sounds at the end of this first period of play, our score, the Temple Wildcats 14, San Angelo 0. More football right after this.
Cafe on the Square in Georgetown is a very special place. People from all over Central Texas enjoy the unique atmosphere and delicious food. After a hard day, Cafe on the Square is a great place to relax for dinner. Choose from a variety of beautifully prepared entrees, including steak, seafood, and pasta. The Sunday buffet is special at Cafe on the Square. For brunch or Sunday dinner, all your favorite dishes are prepared and served with Cafe's own original charm. Cafe on the Square in Georgetown. There's just no place like it.
Welcome back, everyone, to San Angelo, Texas, where the beginning of the second period shows Coach Bob McQueen's Temple Wildcats holding on to a 14-0 lead. Cliff Brown, along with Gordon Marshall, Mark Darmstead here, bring you this play-by-play action as we see the Temple Wildcats in great shape. Second down and only inches. Ball on San Angelo's 32-yard line. Handoff, that time to Delarius Wilson. Oh, my. Wilson absolutely is boy, is he a little scooter bug or what?
He's got great acceleration. Of course, the offensive line's blowing him out up front right now. This is a great confidence builder for the whole offensive team to be able to run a football like this.
They mark the ball at the 10-yard line. It's going to be first down and goal. Quarterback Adrian Woodson. chance. Hands off, right up the middle. And Wilson again drives deep. He'll get down to about the 3-yard line before they pull him down.
The Wildcats are happy to see the rushing game back intact. Last week was a difficult chore for the rushing game, and I know Coach McQueen is real happy to see the rushing game back intact and in full force tonight.
Before we go any further, we certainly want to thank the Temple Daily Telegram and Richard Gilman providing us with a lot of these statistics here tonight. He's done a yeoman's job on that, and we appreciate it greatly. Handoff, Wilson, he'll score, standing up, touchdown, Temple Wildcats. Oh, they're making it look easy here tonight.
Great run, and of course the Wildcats are hitting the heart of the defense, right up the middle. I think Gordon's point earlier about their defensive ends try to pinch in so much, so the place to attack the defense is right up the middle. And the Wildcats are doing a beautiful job of it this evening.
11:07 left in this second period of play, and Wilson's just doing exactly what he wants to do. As you see, Danny McGanna up for the extra point. The kick is good. And fellas, that's the way you mark it down on the chalkboard. That's textbook play.
Well, 3 times the Wildcats have started inside Central territory, and 3 times they've scored, from 22, from 32, and now from 42 yards out.
Now, in case you have been living in a cave somewhere and don't read the newspapers or see television, you might note that the Temple Wildcats are 2-0 for the year. Last week they knocked off the #1 ranked Odessa Permian club by the score of 20-14, and they are now ranked #1 in the state. And from the way they are going right now, they have every intention of keeping that ranking. And it doesn't look like it's gone to their head so far.
Well, that's the first time since 1979 the Wildcats are rated #1, and that also brings with it usually the best test the other team can give you.
Now, in 1979, was some people on that team that you guys knew?
Oh, yes, a young man played quarterback, Robbie Harris, who's in Temple, Texas now. A great running back, plays for the Buffalo Bills, Kenneth Davis. There were just so many great players on that team. Darrell Weddington was on that team. He also is back in Temple.
Well, Temple has challenged the very best in Texas and opponents. So far, they've met the challenge and overcome the obstacles. You see the kickoff taken in the end zone. A handoff. They'll try around the right side. He's got some running room. He's got some good blocking. And what a nice return that time, all the way up to the 40-yard line. We'll see who had the football. Number 31, Petey Jones. He did a great job on that kick return. He brought the ball up to around the 41-yard line.
There's no quit in San Angelo. They've been scoring a lot of points, and you won't see them tonight not go out with a great fight.
And now the referees have indicated the Temple Wildcats have called a timeout. Perhaps they want to set the defense. While they have a timeout, we want to mention to you that the head coach of San Angelo is Dan Gandy, who took his team to the semifinals last year. If he wins tonight, Coach Bob McQueen will have recorded 211 victories to compile a career record of 211, 56 losses, and 7 ties. Quite an enviable record. And he is one of the legends in Texas high school football. And you can see the results of his coaching and his staff's coaching, his excellent coaching staff, on the field here tonight. It is interesting, you fellows were talking about the rushing passing combination. So far, they've rushed for 249 yards and passed for 393 yards for the season so far. And I think probably the rushing statistics are going to be considerably improved. Montgomery passes complete to the right. Hit Ryan King, and the King is bounced out of bounds.
Ryan King is one of the individuals they'd like to get the football to. He's had a great start this season, and last year he caught the football for over 800 yards, so he's a very dangerous receiver.
Dan Montgomery has receivers out on both sides now, double on both sides. He's going to keep it, takes the pitch out, and eats the football at about the 50-yard line as the entire right side of Temple's defense said hello.
Well, that's kind of a little unique twist they have. Their slot back becomes the pitch man on the option and stays back instead of going downfield and blocking.
The slot man becomes the pitch man on the option. I like that.
Well, if you only have a one-back set, there's no true triple option there, and the slot man has to stay where he is, and he becomes involved in the play from a position, an unusual position, we'll say.
No, we're not using riverboat gambler terms, friends. We're using football.
Big play by the defense. Big third down stop by the Wildcats there. Looked like the entire defensive front right there stops Benny Jones for no gain.
Give a lot of credit to Mark Churchwell, Dante Martin, Clarence Marion, Dana President. That front forward wall on defense for Temple. And that's like running against a freight train and a brick wall at the same time. They'll spot the ball at the 48-yard line, where it will be 4th down and 1, another punting situation for San Angelo. Michael Johnson back to punt. Gets away a good punt this time, and he'll get a pretty good roll. And it is fielded and immediately down on about the 16-yard line.
I believe that was Tony Lott or Damian Johnson on that play.
So once again, the defense of Temple stopped San Angelo effort.
That was an excellent play by the punt return man, going ahead and getting down and fielding the football and not letting it roll. He didn't give up any yardage. Super play. Well, that's another stat that doesn't go in the record books, Mark. But you know, if that ball rolls 10 yards down the field, then it takes a 10-yard gain to make up that lost ground. So a good play by the special teams in.
Adrian Woodson, the quarterback for Temple, has receivers out wide to the right. He's going to hit one of them. Has a man wide open down the right sideline. He slips by one man, and they finally force him out of bounds, but not before he is knocked out about the 40-yard line. That was Greg Watson, the 200-pound senior slot back, who was on the receiving end of Woodson's pass. Gordon, so much quickness on this football team.
A lot of quickness and a lot of speed, a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, especially in the field position there. Of course, you couple that with a real good offensive line, a good quarterback, and you've got the potential for a great season. We're seeing some of that unfold here tonight.
This is only the second time tonight Temple has been in its own territory with the football. Handoff right up the middle. This time again goes to Wilson.
I believe we got a new running back in, Neville Malone, number 30's in the backfield, resting Wilson a little bit. He's a big, strong running back. He weighs about 215, I believe.
See, Mark, that's because you've got better eyes than I do. I can't see that far away. I have to look at the monitor up here in the press box. Nevertheless, they got the football on about the 41-yard line. Receivers out wide to the left. Woodson scrambling, pitches out. How he got the football out, I'll never know. Oh my, what nearly averted disaster that time.
I think Coach McLean liked that one, Mark. Well, Gordon, that's just beautiful natural instinct by Adrian's part. He does take a risk there, but I think he felt like he was in control, saw the back there and pitched it out. Adrian is always trying to make positive yardage and trying to make something happen.
I'll tell you what, that play was not only ugly, that would put a few more gray hairs than Coach Bob McLean did, I'll tell you for sure. You don't see that very much. 3rd down and 6 for the Temple Wildcats. 8:02 in this second quarter of play. They lead 21-0. Woodson, straight drop back, being pressured. Shoots out to his left, fires in and out of the hands.
Greg Watson, incomplete there. Here comes 21, Greg Watson, the intended receiver. For the first time, for the first time tonight, Cliff, they got good pressure on Adrian from the outside, one of the pinchers that Gordon described earlier in the ball game, and Adrian had to flush out of the pocket. Now, I believe that's only the second time tonight that they stopped the Wildcats on offense.
Now we'll have a punting situation. Richard Mateo, the punter, will boost the football from about his 29-yard line. Long count. Gets It's a nice high punch. It will be fielded at, no, it will not be fielded. They let it go and it gets a good roll and he picks it up late. They are in big trouble because he must have slipped and touched his knee down at about the 11-yard line.
I believe that was a fair catch call for, and I believe they'll get a 5-yard delay of game penalty because they tried to return the football.
Because I didn't see him hold up his hand. I saw the yellow flag. Another judgment call by the Bobcats. They're going to put them in the hole. They just simply have not been able to crank it up. It makes it the Temple defense and their own miscues have not allowed them to get cranked up and get a concentrated drive started.
Well, again, their field position is not going to be very good here at the 6-yard line, so that helps your defense so much to be able to keep the other team down that deep. As wide open as their offense is, they have to be a little bit more conservative when they're down in this area.
Temple leads 21-0 here midway in the second period of play. San Angelo will have the ball on their own 6-yard line. Ben Montgomery, the quarterback for the Bobcats. Montgomery dropping back into the end zone. Fires. Complete down the right sideline. This time he hit Ryan King complete. Up around the 14-yard line. Stopped that time by Prez Thomas, the 230-pound senior, who has 14 assist tackles so far in the season.
Well, that time, Cliff, they totally spread the offense out. They had 4 receivers, 3 on the outside and 1 on the far side, and no tight ends. So they're really trying to spread the Wildcats out at this point.
They have receivers wide on both sides. Hands off right off the middle. Benny Jones, the fullback. Jones stacked up quickly. Very short yardage.
Wildcats defensive front doing a great job tonight.
Coach Bob McQueen's Wildcats ranked number 1 in the state of Texas by the AP poll in Class 5A. Third down, 4 yards to go for San Angelo Central. Montgomery swings to his left, looks for a receiver, fires, complete, and in and out of the hands. He didn't hold it long enough for it to be a completed pass. Broken up by Tony Lott. Ryan King that time had it just dribble out of his fingertips at about the 30-yard line. It would have been a first down, and he was wide open, actually.
Well, Tony arrived in the nick of time to knock the ball loose there at the last minute. Wildcats will be looking for a good return here.
So once again, a 4th down situation. 4th down and 4 as Michael Johnson gets ready to punt the football. Again, he'll have to punt it deep from about his own 3-yard line. And he gets a dribble punt.
They're coming after it.
And they're going to down him right there. Bad snap from center.
They were after that one, Cliff.
Yeah, they were. They had a rush and a block on, but the big culprit was that the center dribbled the football back to him.
That's right. The Wildcats will take over in great shape. I don't know, Gordon, how many times they've been inside the 50-yard line with the possession this half, but it's been at least all but 2, I believe. How many times, Gordon, have they? All but 2. There's 4 possessions inside Central territory. This is the 5th now. So.
Well, Big Blue certainly has the momentum so far with the football on San Angelo's 5-yard marker. Adrian Woodson hands off to Wilson off the right side. He may pick up a couple of yards before he stops. Mark Beard and Russell Ballinger both in there and blow open that space as Wilson slipped down for 2 or 3 yards back towards the goal line. Jimmy Popelka, the center for the Temple Wildcats, has done an outstanding job. So is John Medelli. And Wilson's going to walk in standing up. Yes, sir. Touchdown, Temple Wildcats. Oh, my gracious alive. Wilson's having a great night thanks to a tremendous effort by the offensive line as Temple scored with 5:42 left in this first half of play.
The offensive line is doing a great job. Michael Ranch is in there quite a bit also in there at center, doing a great job.
And in just a little over a quarter and a half, the Temple Wildcats, while they haven't certainly salted away the victory, It made a big dent in that direction. The kick is up. And it is good.
With 5:42 remaining.
Danny McGanna kicks his extra point right down the middle. So with 5:42 left in this football contest in the second period, Temple Wildcats lead 28-0. We'll be back.
One dealer, one event, one price. It's the Johnson Brothers Ford One Price Clearance Sale, where we've received our final huge shipment of 92s, and they're all one price to save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Like our huge selection of 92 Explorers, two-wheel and four-wheel drive models, and each one of them is discounted to sell. Or take a look at one of our largest selection of 92 Tauruses of the year. Once again, one price before you even get here to save you money. Beat the 93 price increases by buying now. Johnson Brothers Ford, take the Adams Avenue exit off I-35 in Temple.
Welcome back to West Texas, San Angelo, to be specific, as we begin with 5:42 left in this first half of play, with the Temple Wildcats holding on to a commanding 28-0 lead. Wilson, the fullback for the Temple Wildcats, crashing over from 3 yards out for the last touchdown. They're making it look easy, fellas.
I'll tell you, Cliff, field position has played a lot in the first half here. Temple's touchdown drives has not been all that long. Of course, the big play by the punt return team, the muff punt attempt by Central, they go in from 5 yards. I guess that was the easiest and cheapest one. But field position, the kicking game playing a big part of tonight's contest already.
Magana's kick goes down to the right side. It's picked up. And a little bit of trickery and handoff, razzle-dazzle there, brings the ball up to about the 20-yard line. But it's going to take more than razzle-dazzle on the kickoff returns to get the San Angelo Bobcat team back into this football contest.
Guys, this team has averaged almost 40 points a game. So 28 points, they're not out of it yet. The Wildcats are going to have to keep their intensity.
They opened up the season losing 40-36 to Killeen, and then played Killeen Ellison and beat them 41-33. They can score points. Montgomery on a keeper around the left side. Gets past 2-3 people before he's knocked out around by Dana President. Dana, the 190-pound junior, helped in there by Jonathan Berry. And he does pick up a first down on that play.
Number 88's been a great number for the Wildcats over the years. The presidents have worn that number. Doug Streeter, Michael Weddington, and of course Bob McQueen. I believe that was Bob McQueen's number when he was in high school, number 88.
When Bob McQueen was in high school, they only had one digit number. Forgive us, Bob.
Mark, did you mention David President also, or did you mention Dutch? I didn't
Dutch and David. And
David is Dutch and Dana's daddy. He wore number 88 as you and I played for the Wildcats back in the mid-70s there.
First and 10 for San Angelo from about their own 33. Montgomery again on the keeper off the left side. Gets past 2 or 3 people. Good second effort by the quarterback before he pulled down at about the 40. Boy, he's giving it his very all. They haven't quit at all.
No, he's a strong quarterback. He also has pretty good speed. He runs about a 4.7, 5.40, so very good athlete.
He's also a converted defensive back, if that tells you anything, Mark. You know, they have a tendency to be pretty tough mentally and physically, and they've converted him to quarterback this year, and he's doing a good job for them.
Well, defensive backs generally like to hit you, and I'm sure he has that kind of mentality.
Second down at 3. 4:41 left in the first half of play. Montgomery passes to his right side. Complete. This time he hits Benny Dupree. And Dupree is immediately brought down at about the 47-yard line.
Quick out play on that play. 2 receivers to this side. The outside guy drove the defense back, and they ran a little quick out for good yardage.
And those little short yardage passes are about the best thing going so far for San Angelo.
Well, Temple's defensive line has been able to do a good job of putting pressure on the quarterback thus far in the ball game. 2
receivers out on each side as Montgomery hands off up the middle on a fake, and there's a fumble on the football, and Temple's going to get the ball right back. Oh, my, what a costly turnover. And I believe that was a keeper by Tim Montgomery, and Montgomery got past the line of scrimmage, and somebody just ripped the football out of the game.
Well, they had something going, and I'm sure it's disheartening for San Angelo because they had a good little drive going there.
Temple's David Atkinson, number 10, coming up with the loose ball that time.
So Temple, with the football on their own 42-yard line, will take over. 4:11 left in this first half of play. 3 men out wide to the right. Woodson looking, fires right down the middle, has a man open, in and out of the hands. Oh, how close it was.
I believe Greg Watson would like to have interference called on that play.
That time it was broken up. Good defensive effort by Robert Brand, the sophomore from San Angelo. Second down and 10.
The Wildcats, I'm sure, would like to get one more under their belt this half, or at least control the clock for the rest of the half and keep possession of the football.
Woodson hands off to Wilson right up the middle to keep him on it. And Wilson drives up past the 45. And fellas, I want you to tell those viewers who are not aware of the tradition, certainly just about everyone in Temple, Texas is, perhaps those that have recently moved there, the tradition of the football pan, because the blue on one side and white on the other.
All right, Cliff, let's catch this play real quick, and we'll come right back to that.
Woodson will pass, drop straight back. Look, they flush him out of the pocket, but it's clogged up, and they're going to sack him for a loss. He just couldn't get it uncorked. Had to eat the football.
Cliff, the Wildcat players believe that when they put on the blue front white back pants, they get a little bit stronger and a little bit faster than they normally are. And they've seen enough players do exceptional things over the years where they really believe that. I remember a linebacker we had on the state final 76 team, Brian Codlett, weighed about 140 pounds and just did a super job. And 140-pound people are not supposed to be able to do that. So they've seen evidence of the fact that those pants have special meaning.
Richard Mono back to punt for Temple. He'll kick it from his own 29. Nice hang time that time, and it's fair caught by San Angelo on the 20-yard line, where they'll take over with 2:44 left in this first half of play. They trail by the score of 28-0.
You know, I've earned the trust of these kids and their parents, and I look to people that I can trust for my will, life insurance, and recently a prearranged funeral program. I chose the people that this community has trusted for years. By planning ahead, my family is protected financially and emotionally. Trust. That's what it's all about.
For more information or our free prearrangement guide, call Harper Colossus Funeral Home. Harper Colossus, the wiser choice.
Montgomery from San Angelo Central on the keeper around the right side. Flushed from the pocket. Knocked out of bounds by Tony Lott of Temple. And Montgomery simply could not find anybody open. He did, however, pick up a first down and moves the ball up to about his own 32-yard line. Pick up of 12 yards on that play. In case you just joined us, the Temple Wildcats hold a 28-0 lead over the San Angelo Central Bobcats in a surprisingly easy contest so far. Montgomery, pass. This time broken up by Tony Lott. And he was trying to hit Ryan King once more. Simply has not been able to connect with Ryan King thus far.
Good pressure that time. The Temple defensive front, forward down lineman, putting good pressure on him, making him make a decision early, and good defensive coverage in the back end also.
Coming up at halftime, we have a great halftime show featuring an outstanding marching band from Temple High School, the drill team. You don't want to miss it.
Here's a
Big
screen
rush
again.
this time on Montgomery. He throws the screen right down the middle. Hit Vinny Dupree on that. was complete, but I think he probably made all of 1 yard. Jonathan Berry knocked that play, broke up that play. And did he pick up any yardage at all, fellas? Maybe a yard. Maybe a yard.
Well, San Angelo is trying to get something going. They got a minute 58 to drive down the field and try to at least get something under their belt here before halftime.
Let me make a wild guess here and say that they're going to throw a rainbow pass. They've got 2 receivers out wide to the left, 1 out to the right, 2 out to the right. Montgomery looking, passes, and before he get it knocked down, he was real lucky.
Temple comes with a safety blitz. That time, number 10, David Atchison, blitzing from his strong safety position. Hits Montgomery in the back, and the ball falls incomplete.
Freese Thomas was also in there on that play, I believe, Gordon. Great play by the Wildcats. Wildcats continue to get great pressure on the quarterback this evening.
4th down situation now, 4th and 8 for San Angelo. Michael Johnson, who usually does the punting, will apparently do so from his own 18-yard line. Damian Johnson is one of the deep receivers. He takes the football on about his own 30, I think it's 34, brings it up maybe to his 38 before he stops. Pretty good punt coverage that time by San Angelo.
Excellent punt coverage. Greg Steele on the return there. Greg's doing a great job this year. I believe coming into the ball game, he had something like 11 solo tackles already this year.
So the Temple Wildcats, with 1:29 left in this first half of play, will take over, mark the ball on their own 36-yard line. Adrian Wilson, the quarterback for Temple. Draw play, right up the middle. There's a fumble.
He ends up back in Adrian's hands. The central man, the central defender, tried to pick it up and advance it.
One dealer, one event, one price. It's the Johnson Brothers Ford One Price Clearance Sale, where we've received our final huge shipment of 92s, and they're all one price to save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Like the 92 full-size trucks, regular and super cab models. Johnson Brothers has over 100 F-Series in stock, and every one price includes a just-announced $1,000 factory rebate. Or choose from our large selection of 92 Ranger super cabs, all one price before you get here to save you money. Johnson Brothers Ford. Take the Adams Avenue exit off I-35 in Temple.
1:20 left in this first half of play. In case you just joined us, Temple leads 28-0 over San Angelo Central. And you might explain that play, Gordon. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Well, I need Mark to help me explain the penalty. Was that an illegal block in the back on the return? Temple picked up 10 yards on the penalty there. I'm unsure of the call.
Pass this time complete.
That's Dale Williams. Temple comes back. Dale Williams comes back this week for the first time this year, having sustained a hamstring injury early in the year. Makes a big catch there and a great run.
I'm sure the Wildcats would like to see him get off to a great start here. Derek Bates went down last week with an injury, so the Wildcats need him back in the lineup again.
And they're discussing things out on the field. We may have a penalty. Looks like they're going to mark some yardage off against the Wildcats. That's exactly what they're going to do. They'll mark it off from the San Angelo 36-yard line. Move the ball back up to the 46.
First down for the Wildcats.
With 59 seconds left in this first half, the Temple Wildcats in a commanding 28-0 lead. Have the ball first and 10.
The Wildcats hadn't tried to go deep tonight yet, so you might look for that here late in the first half.
One man back in the backfield. Woodson swings out to his right, looks for a receiver on the run, fires, complete, and he'll pick up the first down on about the 35-yard line, and I believe that may stop the clock. He hit Damian Johnson, who's the leading receiver for Temple. No, it did not stop the clock. Beg my pardon.
Wildcats in a no-huddle offense.
Big pressure. Woodson gets out, and manages to get the pass off.
Wilson had a great block that time, peeling back and getting the end to get Adrian free to throw that football.
"40 seconds left on the clock here in the first half of action. Coach Bob McQueen, Temple Wildcats, very much in control. Woodson hands off to Wilson right up the middle. Wilson has not yet failed to make good yardage on that play all night long. First down, they're going to go with a no-huddle offense again.
Mike Lawrence came up limping a little bit that time for the Wildcats, number 50, the center. That'll bring in Jimmy Popelka, number 54, to replace Lawrence. I hope he's okay. He looks like he's running off the field pretty well. John's just coming back, has missed the first couple ball games. I believe he played some last week, didn't he, Gordon?
He played sparingly. He had some hip surgery in the off season. Mike played quick tackle last year for the Wildcats and returns as a junior this year.
Well, whether it was an accident or whether it was designed, it did do one thing. It stopped the clock with 35 seconds left. Temple's in great field position with the ball at the San Angelo 26-yard line, make it 27.
And so far, the first half script has gone the way Coach McQueen, I'm sure, would have liked it to have gone. The defense has played very well, and the offense has capitalized on the field position.
Yeah, that and, of course, the Temple defense forcing 2 fumbles. One in the central end of the field, leading to a quick touchdown, and the other one stopping a central drive after it looked like they had just a little bit going for them. And, of course, the muff punt. So it's been some big plays tonight by the Temple defense.
First and 10 for the Temple Wildcats. Woodson looks to his left, fires, has a man open, but it's in and out of his hands. Now, he could have gotten some serious yardage that time.
He was open. The Wildcats went to a play that time on a little stop route, very effective. The Wildcats just missed it, but it was definitely there.
That was Dale Williams, the 170-pound senior receiver. Second and 10. Temple. Quick pass, complete over the middle. Oh my, this time he hit Greg Watson right over the middle on a quick little look in.
And, you know, that's really a great pass because the linebacker had Watson there at the line of scrimmage. Watson breaks inside, and Adrian hits him right in between the 2 and the 1 there, and he makes a great catch and a great run after he caught it. That's just good execution.
26 seconds left on the clock for the first half of play, and Temple is once again knocking on the door at the San Angelo 11-yard line. And I'll tell you what, Mark, you're right, they couldn't devise a game plan that worked closer to perfection than what we've seen in this first half.
No, it's just been a beautiful offensive execution as well as defensive execution. Greg Watson that time catching the football in a crowd, making a great run. He's a great runner after he catches the football. Number 21, Greg Watson.
I can assure you, Coach Bob McQueen does not have a tendency to deliberately run up the score, but when your machine is clicking as smoothly as the Temple Wildcats are tonight, high scoring is going to be inevitable, and I'm sure that we're going to see some fresh jerseys in there in this second half of action.
When your opposition is averaging almost 40 points a game, you certainly don't want to quit moving the football.
Woodson looking for a receiver on the right. Touchdown, Temple Wildcats. Oh my, he had Damian Johnson on the look in on the right side this time. Pass to the right, pass to the left, touchdown, textbook.
Well, Damian Johnson, I believe that's his second touchdown this evening. Great catch, slant pattern. Adrian is throwing the football so well. Timing is just perfect.
You know, Adrian's picked up right where he left off last week. He is definitely on. The timing's there. The Temple offense moving the ball at ease right now.
The kick for the extra point. Is good. So with 22 seconds left, our score, the Temple Wildcats 35, San Angelo Central 0. And when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. And boy, I'll tell you what, we may emphasize this too much tonight, but Temple just looks about as smooth as you could ask them to be, considering this is the third week of the season.
They really do. A good ball possession drive. That actually being their longest drive of the night, 58 yards in 8 plays for the Temple offense, culminating in that 11-yard strike to Damian Johnson from Adrian Woodson.
You might look for some trickery here on the kickoff by the Bobcats. The Bobcats have to get something going if they expect to make a run in this ball game. Danny Magana set to kick off. Danny's been kicking off the ball extremely well of late.
I don't think Magana's missed on any of these extra points tonight.
No, he's right now 5 for 5.
Let's watch the Wildcat kick coverage this time. The Wildcats take a lot of pride in getting down the football field on the kickoff.
Magana hits the squibbler. Going to be taken at about the, and down, actually at about the 23-yard line by San Angelo, and they'll have 21 kicks on the clock in the first half of play to try to get on the scoreboard. And you got to believe that the Bobcats from San Angelo would dearly love to get 6 or 3 points, for that matter, to close out this first half.
Well, I think they've got to go for it.
I was going to say, head coach Dan Gandy cannot be pleased over his team's performance, and I think that they are a much better football team than the score indicates.
Well, I think you're right, Cliff, and I think they're going to go for it here. They're going to try to put the ball up in the air and make something happen. That's just the kind of character of the team.
Ben Montgomery drops back, forced out of the pocket, scrambles. He'll run with it. He'll try to hit for out of bounds, but not before he gets all the way up to nearly his own 40-yard line. Good defensive rush to flush him out of the pocket.
I believe that was Richard Mata forcing him out of bounds on the 29 for the Wildcats.
Richard's having a nice night tonight, defensively and kicking the football. First and 10, 12 seconds left in this first half of play. Swift receivers to the left this time for San Angelo. Montgomery looking in that direction again. Forced the pass and he throws it on the fly. That's the way you draw it up on the blackboard, fellas, as we hit Mark Jacker. No, Benny Dupree on a fly pattern down the left sideline. What a nice pass. That had to be at least 50 yards in the air.
Well, we commented early in the ballgame on how strong his arm was.
And what did we just say about San Angelo needing a breath of life here in this first half of play? With 2 seconds on the clock, they have finally scored a touchdown. Michael Johnson's kick for the extra point is good. So the hometown crowd here in San Angelo finally has the opportunity to cheer as they see their hometown Bobcats score their first touchdown of the night. They trail 35-7.
That's unfortunate for the Temple defense. They played so well the first half and controlled the line of scrimmage, controlled the game, and a long pass right before halftime. It'll at least get them focused on the fact they're going to have to play a second half here. So with 2 seconds left, Central will kick off, and Temple will get a chance for a return here.
Well, that time we saw a great passing effort by quarterback Ben Montgomery. He really had good timing on that one.
Beautiful throw. I would expect the Bobcats to either squib kick the football down the field or go ahead and try an onside kick. Even though there's only 2 seconds in the half, you might get a penalty or something and get a chance to take a shot at the end zone.
And Coach McQueen thinks the same thing, Mark. He's got his onside kick return team in the ball game now to receive this kickoff.
Just like you said, a squib kick, but it'll be fielded at about the 22. Some running room still left, but that'll be the last play of the first half. You saw Dale Williams take the return, but that's it for the first half with our score. The Temple Wildcats 35, San Angelo Central Bobcats 7. We'll be back for all the halftime action. Don't miss it right after this.
At King's Daughters Hospital, we deliver bouncing baby boys, bouncing baby girls, and all the joy that bouncing babies bring. King's Daughters Hospital, delivering happy babies to you.
Cafe on the Square in Georgetown is a very special place. People from all over Central Texas enjoy the unique atmosphere and delicious food. After a hard day, Cafe on the Square is a great place to relax for dinner. Choose from a variety of beautifully prepared entrees, including steak, seafood, and pasta. The Sunday buffet is special at Cafe on the Square. For brunch or Sunday dinner, all your favorite dishes are prepared and served with Cafe's own original charm. Cafe on the Square in Georgetown. There's just no place like it.
Down on the field, the outstanding Temple High School band under the direction of Neelan Chirac. This year, the drum majors are Kirk Sunderman, Mindy Cook, and Michael Danilin. Now, let's go down on the field for a great halftime show featuring the Temple High School band.
We open our show with Sam Quickly's Ride of the Condor. Solos will be Sam Adams on Chris Horn, Julia Keithley, and Michael Barnett on trumpet. Alpha will be conducted by Assistant Drum Major Benny tonight. Soloists will be Chad Adams and Jenny Fishman on signal. in a high-kick routine for Amy Grant's hit tune, Find a Way.
Take it to your Central Texas GMC truck dealers in Temple and Killeen, and you'll be amazed what $20 can do. Just combine your $20 with the factory rebate available on new Jimmys, Sonomas, or GMC vans. With the rebate assigned to dealer, your down payment is only $20. So come to Jim Tranum in Temple or Cleo Bay in Killeen. But hurry, see what $20 can do at your Central Texas GMC truck dealer.
It's halftime here in San Angelo, Texas, with the Temple Wildcats holding on to a commanding 35-7 lead over the San Angelo Bobcats. And you just watched an outstanding performance by the Temple High School band. What an outstanding unit they are in the drill team. They really do a super job. Now, my special guest is the superintendent of Temple ISD, Dr. Jack Reeves. And Dr. Reeves, you have some really good news about Temple ISD, and you have some great things going over there.
You bet we do. We have lots of good people, some excellent teachers. Some of our improvement efforts are now starting to show up with results. The latest results that we're real proud of is our Scholastic Aptitude Test, college entrance exam, is up. Our ACT scores have been going up, but we hit a new high, a new 5-year high just last week. We got the results last week, so we're real proud of that. Our state exams are above average in the state and climbing, so we think that we're on the right track, that our efforts to improve student performance, which is our major goal, we think our strategies are working. And of course, you know, we can talk that to death, but when they show up on paper, you can be proud and you can feel good about the people who are doing a lot of hard work.
Well, I was going to ask you, one of the most outstanding things that you have going is the volunteer efforts of parents and other interested people who make some of these programs work for you.
So if it takes an entire community to make an outstanding school district, an entire community working together, like the old African proverb we like to quote, it takes an entire village to raise a child. And we think our village is starting to pull together to improve student performance. We have a mentoring program, for example, where we have businessmen from different corporations around town that come in and donate an hour or two of their time a week working with children or a child that's having trouble maybe with reading or mathematics or something else. And we think that's paying off for a couple of reasons. They get some special one-on-one help, but they also get some outstanding role models to look up to. So,
well, now, I know we're going to be talking to you later on this year about some specific programs. Right now, we have a Golden Wildcat Award, and you might want to read this award and explain a little bit about its recipient.
Okay. This is an award apparently sponsored by First National Bank of Temple. It's called the Golden Wildcat Award, and I'm presenting this tonight to Martha Bartek on this 18th day of September, 1992, for being recognized as an extraordinary individual within the Temple Independent School District and the city of Temple. This outstanding citizen has contributed extra efforts in the area of personal betterment and has, furthermore, greatly contributed to the improvement of the educational environment in Temple, Texas. Martha Bartek happens to be my secretary. And secretaries are the unsung hero in any organization. And Martha's been a superintendent secretary for a long time in Temple. Recently is retired and now works for me half-time. But she's really the superintendent, I think. She knows an awful lot about how Temple works and knows the people, and she's been just a great asset to me. So I'm delighted to have this opportunity to give her some special recognition.
Well, thank you, Dr. Reeves. Well, we appreciate the time that Dr. Reeves has given us and given us some information about the Temple ISD. We'll be back for the second half of action right after this.
I live alone, and I've come to appreciate having things my own way. One thing I've recently done is complete a prearranged funeral plan. Sure, I've got life insurance and a will, but prearrangement assures me the protection of my personal beliefs. It's not fair to leave difficult decisions to the family. And besides, it's my right to choose exactly what I want. It's your right, too.
For more information or our free prearrangement guide, call Harper Colossic Funeral Home, the wiser choice.
In case you've just joined us, our halftime score is the Temple Wildcats 35, the San Angelo Bobcats 7, and so far it's been all Wildcats football.
Well, it really has, and they did the two things we talked about before the game. They ran the football, and they played great defense, so they're having an outstanding game thus far.
Okay, now, Gordon, let's talk about field position. Lousy for San Angelo Central.
Well, that's been the mark of the whole game. I think Temple's only started 2 of their drives in their own territory this first half. Fumbles, field position, muff punt. Temple has been very opportunistic, taking advantage of everything that Central has given them, along with everything that Temple's defense has given them by causing those fumbles, and is in command right now.
Okay, now, the game plan for Coach Bob McQueen in the second half, does he let a lot of new fresh faces come into the lineup, or does he continue to pour it on for the third quarter and then slack off during the final period?
Well, that late touchdown in the first half kind of changed the complexion of things, and I think he's going to have to make sure the players maintain their concentration and their focus and protect the football. Those are going to be the keys in the second half, Cliff.
Okay, now, if you're San Angelo Central, what have you got to do to get back in this football game in a big fashion and very quickly?
Well, I'll tell you, scoring with 2 seconds left in the half, as they did from 65 yards out, that'll light your fire, and if they have any hope at all, that'll stimulate it. Coach Ganny just goes in and tells them, hey, look what we did. We're a high-scoring offense. We moved the ball the first half. We've got to be opportunistic ourselves and take over and maybe cause a few breaks, cause a few fumbles, cause a few miscues, and see if they can get back in the game.
All right, we've got 2 more quarters of outstanding Temple Wildcat football coming right up right after this.
G. Willie's now has the most exciting game in Central Texas. QB1, the interactive TV game where you play along during live professional and college football games and can compete for valuable prizes nationally. Large portions of great food and a lively and entertaining atmosphere sure to please the entire family. G. Willie's, with the largest big-screen TV in Central Texas and the only place you can play along with QB1, the interactive TV game. G. Willie's, just east of the Mall on the Loop, Temple.
One dealer, one event, one price. It's the Johnson Brothers Ford one-price clearance sale where we've received our final huge shipment of 92s, and they're all one price to save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Like our huge selection of 92 Explorers, 2-wheel and 4-wheel drive models, and each one of them is discounted to sell. Or take a look at one of our largest selection of 92 Taurus's of the year. Once again, one price before you even get here to save you money. Beat the 93 price increases by buying now. Johnson Brothers Ford, take the Adams Avenue exit off I-35.
Welcome back, everyone, to the beginning of the second half of play here in San Angelo, Texas, between the Temple Wildcats and the San Angelo Central Bobcats. Cliff Brown, Gordon Marshall, and Mark Zarstead here to bring you all the play-by-play, and it has been an explosive first half. And, Gordon, we may see more fireworks here in the third and fourth periods as well.
That's right, Cliff. Temple, of course, won the opening coin toss and elected to defer to the second half, and they have elected to recede to start the second half. Quickly, stats from the first half: Temple's Adrian Woodson, 7 out of 11 for 106 yards and 2 TDs. Central kicks off, fielded by Damian Johnson on about the 13. He's going to bring it back up close to the 30-yard line. Temple will set up shop at that point, 1st and 10 from their own 29. Woodson, 7 out of 11 for 106 yards, 2 touchdowns the first half. I know Coach McQueen glad to see the rushing attack kicking back in. 135 yards rushing, unofficially over 240 total yards for the Wildcats in the first half.
The Wildcats would like to get a great drive going early here in the half and get the momentum on their side again to respond to that long touchdown right before half.
Woodson under center. Going to drop back and throw a quick pass. Intended for Johnson. Incomplete.
Temple really likes to throw the quick slant play, and they've done it very effectively tonight.
Temple's defense the first quarter, we mentioned field position, limiting Central the first quarter to 41 total yards and limiting them to 73 total yards in the second quarter before that long 66-yard strike from quarterback Ben Montgomery to Dupree to end the first half. Second down and 10, and it gives to Wilson. He's hit after a gain of 3. He'll be knocked back to the 30. Forward progress marked around the 32.5-yard line. We've got 11 minutes and 35 seconds left in this third quarter. Temple on top, 35-7. Number 52, Michael Prather for the Bobcats on the soft end.
Well, Michael Prather is a sophomore, I believe, Jordan. Fine player from what we understand. plays middle linebacker.
Third down call for Coach Bob McQueen and the Wildcats. Woodson under center. Greg Watson in motion. The right side. Woodson's going to fake the give to Wilson and boot right. He's looking downfield, and it's going to be reeled incomplete. Intended for number 25, Dale Williams. Central has held the Wildcats on this first possession of the second half. Bring up a punting formation and a punting situation for the Wildcats with 11:04.
Now, Mark, this is an interesting series for San Angelo. It's a small thing in the grand scheme of this game, but they have stopped the Wildcats on this first series, and psychologically that's got to be a shot in the arm as a carryover from that touchdown they scored with 2 seconds left in the first half. So we may see a comeback here in a small, measured fashion.
Well, I think that's exactly right, Cliff. That's a big play by their defense, and it's going to give their offense some momentum. The Wildcats need to have a big series on defense and take that momentum back away.
Richard Motta's punt travels about 36 yards before it rolls out of bounds. You know, you mentioned comebacks, Cliff. This Central team was down to Killeen High the first game of the week by a large amount of points and came back to make it 40-36 in a very tightly contested ball game. So they are quite explosive. Like I said, they are averaging close to 470 total yards of offense a game.
I have no doubt in my mind that San Angelo is not going to roll over and play dead for these last 2 quarters. I don't believe that's the kind of football team they are.
They've got things going their way. They've held the Wildcats on the first possession. They take it 1st and 10, and quarterback Ben Montgomery is going to be trapped by a host of Wildcats. A sack on the play by the Temple defense. A loss of 3 yards on the play. Dana Preston and a host of Wildcats there on the stop of Montgomery. So the defense looking to pick up right where it left off there in the first half. 2nd down and 13 for Central now from their own 31-yard line. 10 minutes and 25 seconds left in the third quarter. 35-7, the Wildcats on top.
Again, San Angelo comes out with a double slot on each side of the field.
And they're going to run the veer give to the fullback, Benny Jones, and he's going to break it right up the middle. He's going to be run down by the Temple secondary. Number 20, Greg Steele, and number 42, Tony Lott. After a great game, that was just a veer give right up the middle, Mark.
That's correct, Gordon. A great tackle there by Greg Steele to save a touchdown along with Tony Lott. This Central team has scored 27 points last week in the first half against Ellison, so the Wildcats need to make a hard charge here early.
Well, it was a foot race there for about 30 yards, and he just ran him down. We talked about momentum earlier. San Angelo Central certainly has come out looking a lot crisper.
The first down pass completed to number 81, Ryan King. Good for a 7-yard gain. That'll put it inside the Temple 10-yard line down to the 7. Central has it 2nd down and 3 from that point.
Well, from what we've heard, they're a streaky kind of team, and if you let them get going and let them get started, they can put bunches of touchdowns together.
I was going to say, if you measure the first 3 minutes of the third period, I wouldn't pack the bus up yet for the Wildcats.
Temple's coming on a blitz. Quarterback Ben Montgomery's going to keep around the left side, and he'll be stopped short of the first down. A gain of maybe 2 yards on the play. Stopped by a host of Wildcats again. Priest Thomas there, 88 Dana President's there, Jonathan Berry, and Tony Lott on the right side of the defensive line there.
Montgomery's not the kind of passer you want to give a lot of time back there to choose his receivers. He has a great throwing arm, very strong, and you better put some rush on him or he's going to do some damage to you.
3rd and 2 now for the Central Bobcats. 8 minutes and 47 seconds. The clock is moving. They're inside the Temple 10-yard line. They're on the 5-yard line with a big 3rd down play here. The quick pass is alley-oop, and it's going to be caught. Number 81, Ryan King, on the touchdown reception. We have a flag down. It will be defensive interference ruled against the Wildcats. The touchdown will stand, and you're right, Cliff. They moved the ball well that drive, driving 70 yards in just a few plays. That puts a different complexion on the ball game.
Well, I believe the Wildcats are going to have to take this kickoff and make some first downs at least to calm the crowd down and get control of the football game again.
This is the team that we looked to see at the beginning of this contest, and Temple just overpowered them so quickly that they never did have a chance to get uncorked. Now, if Montgomery gets a hot hand here, Temple had better hold on to their hat. This is an outstanding football team.
Point after now by Central.
Flag on the play.
I believe Temple may be offside on the outside. We'll just have to wait and see, but I believe they may have crossed that line just a little early trying to get the kick block.
That's going to be the call. It'll be refused by the Central Bobcats. Okay, there's 8 minutes and 36 seconds left here in the third quarter. Temple leads at 35 now to 14 for the Central Bobcats. They score on the last possession of the first half, and they score on their first possession of the second half to close the lead to 21 now by the Wildcats.
Fellas, this could get interesting. We'll see as we get ready for the kickoff. We'll be back for more right after this.
What can you do with $20? Take it to your Central Texas GMC truck dealers in Temple and Killeen, and you'll be amazed what $20 can do. Just combine your $20 with the factory rebate available on new Jimmys, Sonomas, or GMC vans. With the rebate assigned to dealer, your down payment is only $20. So come to Jim Tranum in Temple or Cleo Bay in Killeen. But hurry, see what $20 can do at your Central Texas GMC truck dealers.
We're back after San Angelo Central has just scored a touchdown to make the score 35-14 in favor of Temple. There was a flag on the play, and so we have a very interesting situation here, gentlemen.
Well, Cliff, I think this would be a great time for an onside kick if you're San Angelo Central. They got a great penalty, and the worst that can happen is they'll probably still have the Wildcats pinned inside the 30. So I would be surprised if they don't try an onside kick here.
No doubt, Mark. Officials explaining the ruling to Coach McQueen there, multiple infractions, what it looks like, including the offsides penalty that Central elected to take to enforce on the kickoff. And another 15-yarder of some variety. Here's the onside, going to be fielded by Temple at the 30-yard line.
Now, Mike did just exactly the way he was supposed to. He did just exactly the way they coached you to do it. Touch that football, get down on the ground quickly, and prevent any damage from San Angelo.
That was a great job, well-executed play on the Wildcats' part, filling the ball. Now the Wildcats are going to have to take control of the game, go back to the running game that was so successful for them in the first half, and kind of refocus on this game and concentrate.
8 minutes and 34 seconds left in the third quarter. The Wildcats have it first and 10. Here's the give to Wilson up the middle. It's going to be a foot race. He's got one man to beat. He sidesteps. And the Central defense collapses on him on about the 36-yard line. That's going to be a 34-yard gain right up the pike by Temple's Delarius Wilson. That'll make a statement for him.
He put a hip fake on somebody at the 50-yard line that left him standing in his tracks.
Well, that's just what the Wildcats needed. They've got to come off the ball, go back, and get this touchdown and regain control.
First and 10 now from the Central 36-yard line. The give again to Wilson over the left tackle. Another sprint. He bounces outside. He's brought down after a gain of 8 on the play.
I tell you, Wilson's success is a sign of sure respect for the quarterback, Adrian Woodson's passing ability.
Well, I think you're right, Cliff. I think they complement each other. The running game is going to help Adrian, and Adrian's certainly going to help the running game as far as passing the football.
Second down and 3 for the Wildcats from the Central 28-yard line. Give for the third time in a row to Wilson. He's up the middle for good yardage. He's got the first down. He moves inside the Central 20-yard line down to the 18.
Mark Beard's number 64 that time came off the football, and there was a line surge there, and I don't believe Wilson was hit before he got 7 or 8 yards downfield. Just a tremendous drive block by Mark Beard.
Can you imagine what Wilson would do if he weighed 50 more pounds and was a couple of inches taller? It's incredible to even think about it. What
it is. I kind of like him at 150 pounds. He does a great job.
Super athlete.
Give to Wilson again for the 4th straight time, and he's over the right side for a gain of 5 before the Central Bobcats have him wrapped up. It'll be 2nd and 5. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Temple trying to answer a quick score by the Bobcats. They lead 35-14.
This is exactly what you talked about, Mark, and taking back over control of the momentum, and that's exactly what Temple has done so far. If you're San Angelo Central, you have got to stop them right now so you can get back into this football game. Another touchdown, and they are back in it.
Neville Malone now in at tailback for the Wildcats. He replaces Delarius Wilson. He's probably a little winded after 4 straight carries. Malone will get it and carries close to the first down. He'll be about a yard short as he crosses the Central, or just shy of the Central 10-yard line. That'll bring up a third down and about a yard and a half for the Wildcats.
Well, Temple is trying to make a statement here, running this football in the end zone. Coach Beal's calling the plays up there and really has a lot of confidence in his offensive line at this point in the contest.
5 straight plays to the Temple tailback position. Wilson looks to be maybe checking here at the line of scrimmage this time. He will drop back, he'll throw, and it's incomplete, intended for Johnson again. Unable to come up with the reception then. That'll bring up a 4th down.
That was an outstanding play that time by safety Roderick Bowman, the senior 165 player. He was an outstanding player last year, and he's just as good, if not better, this year for San Angelo.
The big 4th down play here for the Wildcats.
They've elected to go for it. The ball rests just at the 10-yard line of the Central Bobcats. 4th down and about a yard and a half for the Wildcats. It gives to Malone, and looks like he's got it. He's up close to the 7-yard line, where he's brought down. Number 42, Derek Lopez there for the Bobcats. Number 79, John Smith there for the Bobcats. It is a 1st down. Temple will have it 1st and goal from the 7-yard line.
John Smith did do a good job for San Angelo. He's a senior. He weighs 280 pounds. It's not easy to move a guy that size, and yet we saw the Wildcats do it.
We'll make it the 8-yard line as Woodson comes underneath the center. Here's the give to Malone. He's over the right side. He bounces outside. He's got one man to beat. He's going to be real just short.
He got 2 yards there on extra effort and strength alone. And that's when the coach looks up and says, yes, all that weight training paid off.
Just a strong runner. He really is. He almost got in the end zone. Just almost.
You take the contrast from Delarius Wilson at 155, and now Neville Malone at 215. You really have a good 1-2 punch. Woodson, quarterback sneaks. It's a Temple touchdown. A big drive by the Wildcats, covers 70 yards on the scoring drive, their longest touchdown drive of the night. A big statement for the Temple Wildcats with 5 minutes and 14 seconds left.
Oh, how quickly momentum shifts.
Well, just tremendous poise by the Wildcat offense to come back and answer like that. They're a senior team. They have so many seniors playing for them, and that's the kind of football that the Wildcats have played all season long.
Madonna will try the point after. We've got a flag down. We may have illegal participation by the Bobcats. They may have had 12 men on the field. The point after is good. I can't count them all. Let's see. They do have 12 men on the field, and that's what the referees are discussing right now.
You know, one of the things that we have seen tonight consistently, and it probably has been the major difference in this football game, is the offensive line play. Temple's offensive line play has just blown away the defensive unit from San Angelo.
Well, Coach Jim Taylor and John Kramer do an outstanding job working with the offensive line. Jim Taylor played at the University of Houston, and John Kramer at Baylor University. Outstanding coaches.
There's a group of people down on the field that do an outstanding job, and we ought to give them a great deal of recognition because they do a super job all year long. And I'm referring, of course, to the Temple cheerleaders. Alicia Vasquez, Christy Stewart, Tammy Hatta, Jana Abel, Hope Farley, Christy Shedd, who's the mascot, Rebecca Hathaway, who's the mascot, Amy Ray, Amanda Gant, Sharon Taylor, and Robert Allen, who's the mascot. These young men and women do an outstanding job in leading team spirit. And we appreciate all their efforts, and I know the fans do and enjoy them as well.
You know, they really do, Cliff, and the band and the flag and the kittens put countless hours into what they do, and I tell you, and I speak from experience as an ex-Wildcat, it means a whole lot to these Wildcats. It means a whole lot to the success.
Well, you know, the flag officers this year include Jennifer Hudson, Tanya Tennant, Kendra Thurman, and Shirley Wallace. And you're right, they do an outstanding job. We're going to mention all of these young ladies and gentlemen who do such an outstanding job in addition to the team. It is certainly a united school effort.
A 15-yard penalty against the Central Bobcats for illegal participation. They had 12 men on the field on the extra point attempt. Temple will kick off from the Central 45-yard line after having accepted the penalty being enforced on the kickoff. And Temple's going to try the onside kick of their own. The ball's up in the air, and it's anybody's. Number 75 for the...
Oh, what a weird play.
Makes a great reception in midair and takes the ball up the field.
I thought we had jump balls and basketball there, fellas.
Well, that was actually a very fine onside kick. It got the ball up in the air, and the Wildcats had a chance at it. Great job by San Angelo pulling it down.
Number 75, Kyle Gould, a senior 185-pound tackle for the Bobcats. Brings it up over the 40-yard line. Central will have it 1st and 10 from that point at the 41 with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Montgomery's back to pass, looking to set up the screen again. Either that or just great pressure by the Wildcats, and they flush him out. He's going to throw it downfield. It's going to fall in between two Central receivers, incomplete.
Temple rushed everybody but the band that time.
Well, I think that's one of the keys to the game so far tonight is Temple has been able to pressure the quarterback. And the best pass defense is having a group of linemen in the quarterback's face.
Probably got to give a little credit there to the defensive coordinator. What do you think, Mark?
I think Don Davis has decided he's going to come after the quarterback tonight, and they're playing a lot of man-free and man-up on receivers, and the defensive backs are doing an outstanding job hanging with them.
You know, Richard Motto's playing a lot of weak side linebacker tonight. That's almost the Temple's nickel look when they line up in a 4-2.
Looks like they're coming again on defense.
And they do. And Priest Thomas has got Montgomery before he can turn around and even look for a receiver. That's going to be a loss of 8 on the play.
Excuse me, did Temple have a team meeting at the quarterback?
Well, I tell you what, they came on a blitz that time, and Priest was basically untouched and had a great shot at the quarterback. The quarterback was looking the other way, and Priest, the minute he turned around, Priest hit him.
And Richard Motto, once again, there, too, to put pressure on him.
That's one of those plays where they line up and say, well, meet me at the quarterback, 10 yards back.
Well, I think this is key for the Wildcats to shut them down here on defense because they moved the ball and scored 2 touchdowns on the defense. I'm sure the defense wants to make their own statement like the offense just made.
3rd and about 19 for the Bobcats from their own 32-yard line. It's going to be a delayed draw up the middle to number 10. That's Elliott Bowman, the sophomore. Moves the tailback. He picks up 5 yards. It's going to be well short of the first down. Clock still rolling. 4 minutes now left in the third quarter. The Temple defense is held and is going to force Central to punt for the first time this second half.
Well, they came out with a lot of spirit and fire. I refer to San Angelo, and when the Wildcats answered that scoring thrust right there in the third period, it seemed to take a little fire out of San Angelo. And they don't have quite the momentum right now that they absolutely must have to get back in the game.
And here's the punt. The end over end is going to be fielded by Damian Johnson. He's got a crease. He's to the outside and up the sideline. He's got good speed. He's going to be run down by Central's number 31. That's Benny Jones. Catches Damian Johnson, saving a touchdown.
Excellent play that time, fielding the football. That was a low kick. Damian did a great job just catching the football and then made an outstanding run getting to the outside wall and trying to make something happen.
Well, hold it just a minute, fellas. They've got a flag on the play, and the Zebras are looking toward the Wildcat side of the field, and we may call it all back.
It may be offsetting here because both players out there seem to kind of get into a little altercation.
That's exactly right, Mark. You called it right on the money. And I'll tell you what, Wildcats come out with great field position.
Well, the Wildcats will be looking right now to take control and make sure that this game is relatively out of reach, even though it's a high-powered offense. I think if they get 49 points on the board, everybody will feel pretty good about it.
A big play by the Temple punt return team, special teams, being a big part of tonight's game. I know Coach McQueen is real happy to see that. The kicking game is so important. And it ends up giving the offense good field position. They'll start at the Central 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Central looked a little bit confused on defense, but they stopped Delarius Wilson after a gain of 4 yards.
They come right back again running the football behind the left side of the offensive line that time. I guess that's Joel Amos over there doing a great job. John Melly, number 68, a senior. Wildcats just continue to hammer the ball up the middle.
Second down, and let's call it 5 from the 28-yard line. Adrian Woodson brings them up to the line of scrimmage. One setback, that's Neville Malone. He's got it over the right side. He's got good running room to the outside and run out of bounds. Inside the 20 is going to be, we got another flag down here, kind of a late flag.
That secondary block may have been part of the problem down there. I don't know whether he's going to call it a slip or not. Maybe not.
They are going to call an illegal block against Temple.
Yeah, and I think it was inadvertent penalty because I think he turned his back to him or side to him, and it's just a very close judgment call there.
Well, Neville Malone is just a sophomore, and every week he's running better and better. He does a great job.
I'll tell you what, if you're a fan and you're watching Temple Wildcats, you've got to be impressed with their poise right now. As you say, senior-dominated team, but you don't get the impression that they're looking ahead to the next opponent.
Well, that's just a mark of a good team. They do have a lot of poise and a lot of focus tonight, and I know Coach McQueen is glad to see that. Give again, this time to Jonathan Berry, and he'll be stopped after a gain of about 3. Temple's number 34, Jonathan Berry, into the lineup at the tailback position, running hard for a gain of about 3. That's going to bring up a third down now for the Wildcats. Still needing about 4 from the central 26-yard line.
And Mark, I think you probably noticed that we're seeing more ground plays in an effort to eat up the clock. I think that the passing attack is not going to be emphasized nearly as much by Bob McQueen.
Well, I think they saw some things early in the ball game, and they've stayed with it and been very successful.
Woodson on the option for the first time tonight, I believe. He keeps, and he's going to have the first down on the option over the left side. That will be a first down for the Wildcats. They move down to the central 20.5-yard line.
Excuse me, I was just going to say, Gordon, that two things happen if you're strictly running the football and you've got this kind of a lead. You're still dominating, you're still in control of the football, and you're eating up the clock, obviously, with 1:50 left in the third period.
And it's demoralizing for the defense because they take a physical, it's tough physically to hang in there when the team is just coming at you and coming at you.
Well, it also makes them vulnerable to the pass, too, that sudden quick pass.
That's Gerald Watson on the carry there. Bobbles the ball, picks it up, and still advances it inside the 20. It's going to be down to about the 18. It'll be second down and about 7 from that point. Gerald Watson is Greg Watson, Temple's number 21, younger brother. Jonathan Berry back in at tailback. The Wildcats inside the central 20, about the 18, looking at second down and 7. Here's a bootleg action by Woodson. He's going to put it up, and it's out of the reach of Greg Watson, incomplete.
He had another man open in the main area along the right sidelines there toward the corner.
That was just a slight miss. That play was really executed pretty well, just slightly out of the reach. 2 guys were open on the play.
That brings up third down for the Wildcats. 54 seconds left in the third quarter. They have it third down and 7 from the central 18-yard line.
Wasn't the secondary receiver at that time Dale Williams? Is that right?
Temple's number 25.
He either stumbled or fell to his knees. I couldn't tell which, but he had about 2 yards on a defender. We might see that play again.
You very well might. That's an excellent play on the goal line. Any drag route down on the goal line is an excellent play.
Woodson looking for room to run, and that's just an example of just how strong he is. He's going to be short of the first down by about a yard. It's going to bring up about a 4th and 1. What a great run after being hit. Second effort by Adrian.
Well, they went for it down here before on 4th down and short. Looks like they're going to go again.
Mark, you talked about Adrian Woodson's quickness. That's a prime example right there. He goes, he scrambles, he gets into heavy traffic right up the middle. The next thing you do, you see him, and you look up, he's skirting along the left sidelines here and makes good yardage.
Well, Adrian makes so many decisions that are correct during the course of a ball game, and that's so critical for a quarterback. Last week, Adrian, I don't think, had very many plays that he did not make exactly the correct decision.
Okay, Temple is going to let the clock run down to 0, and that ends the third quarter here at San Angelo, Texas. Temple Wildcats on top, 42-14. Stay tuned. We'll be back for quarter number 4 right after this.
King's Daughters Hospital announces something really worth celebrating. It's the Women's Connection, a special program at King's Daughters especially for women. With healthcare services, seminars, classes, support groups, and much more. Even a special information line just for women. The Women's Connection. All kinds of services for all kinds of women. To find out more, call the Women's Connection today.
G. Willie's now has the most exciting game in Central Texas. QB1, the interactive TV game where you play along during live professional and college football games and can compete for valuable prizes nationally. Large portions of great food and a lively and entertaining atmosphere sure to please the entire family. G. Willie's, with the largest big screen TV in Central Texas and the only place you can play along with QB1, the interactive TV game. G. Willie's, just east of the mall on the loop, Temple.
Welcome back to the fourth and final quarter between the San Angelo Central Bobcats and the Temple Wildcats. Our score, Temple Wildcats 42, San Angelo 14.
A big fourth down play by the Wildcats, 4th and 1, and they convert the first down. A give to Neville Malone for a gain inside the 10 down to the 7.
Well, offensive line's looking so good tonight. Neville Malone running real hard.
First and goal from that point for the Wildcats. Woodson calls the signals and gives again to Malone up the middle. He's inside the 5, down to about the 3. Mark, you mentioned the offensive line. They're doing an outstanding job tonight. Protection and opening up good running lanes for the running backs. I know Coach Jim Taylor must be very pleased with the play of the offensive line. I know you also play with Coach Taylor at the University of Houston.
Jim Taylor's a great technique coach. He walked on at the University of Houston and made the team, and he did it blocking on 2 280-pound All-Americans, Jose Taylor and Leonard Mitchell. So Jim knows how to coach technique.
Second down and goal to give to Malone. He's going to be stopped short. The touchdown. He's down inside the 3, close to the 2. 10 minutes and 55 seconds left in this fourth and final quarter. Temple on top, 42-14, and threatening inside the central 5-yard line.
Probably not too early now to say that we need to start talking about looking ahead next week, which should be a fantastic football game featuring Temple Wildcats traveling to San Antonio to play San Antonio Converse Judson. And what a matchup that'll be.
Touchdown Temple. Woodson keeps on the option around the right side. Cliff, I wasn't ignoring you there. I wanted to wait and see Woodson cross the goal line there before we started talking about Judson. Okay, I do feel a little bit better now. 10 minutes and 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Woodson touchdown ups the score to 48-14, and the try after from Danny Magana. So you're right, Cliff. You know, and Judson can be ranked very, very high. Depends on the result of this Friday's games. We could have a number 1 and number 2 or number 3 matchup all over again.
Very possible, very possible. Converse Judson, for those of you who just follow high school football occasionally, has consistently been in the playoffs over the years, especially the last decade, and they are always in the top 10.
Danny Magana's try for point after is good. That moves the score to Temple 49 and San Angelo Central 14 with 10 minutes and 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter. We'll be back right after this.
One One dealer, one event, one price. It's the Johnson Brothers Ford one-price clearance sale where we've received our final huge shipment of 92s, and they're all one price to save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Like the 92 full-size trucks, regular and super cab models. Johnson Brothers has over 100 F-Series in stock, and every one price includes a just-announced $1,000 factory rebate. Or choose from our large selection of 92 Ranger super cabs, all one price before you get here to save you money. Johnson Brothers Ford. Take the Adams Avenue exit off I-35 in Temple.
Welcome back, everybody, to Bobcat Stadium here in San Angelo, Texas. The number one ranked Temple Wildcats with 10 minutes and 25 seconds left in this fourth quarter. Moved the score to 49-14 over a good Central team. This has been a very, very impressive night for the Wildcats, both offensively and defensively.
Well, you know, they've overcome a lot tonight. They had a great game last week, big game, drained them emotionally. They got labeled number one this week, which is great, but it also gets the best shot from the opposing team. And then they had the long ride in here to play away from home. So I think they've done an outstanding job tonight.
Temple kicks it, squibs it, and Central is unable to mount any type of return. They're stopped inside the 30-yard line or right at the 30-yard line. The Bobcats will have it 1st and 10 from that point. First and 10 now for the Bobcats. From their own 30, make it 31-yard line. 10 minutes and 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Montgomery drops back. He's under pressure again. He's going to get it off. And it's going to be complete and then dropped. Incomplete, I'm sorry, in and out of the hands of number 10, Elliott Bowman. Incomplete, brings up a second down.
David Atkinson on a big hit there.
I was just going to say that the Bowman, there are two on the team, are splendid athletes. And it's too bad he really didn't catch that football because it was well thrown and he well executed play. And it shows you the strength of Montgomery's arm. He really does have a strong arm, surprisingly strong.
Central in their double slot formation. Montgomery will run the veer. Left side, he cuts up into an opening. Again.
Great play that time by Tony Lott, number 42. He had a blocker in his face, and he still made the tackle. It was a fine play by Tony.
That'll move the chains for the Bobcats. Quarterback Ben Montgomery keeping on a quarterback option for a gain of 13. That's to the 45. 1st and 10 for Central at that point. Here's the give to Vinny Jones, brought down after gain of 2.
I think that was Stephen Thompson, number 85, in there on the tackle that time.
You know, in many respects, the San Angelo Central offensive game plan is somewhat of a mirror image of Temple. They try to spread them out with the passes and then come back with a little short burst, you know, up the middle. The difference has been the defensive pursuit. The Temple defensive pursuit is just outstanding tonight.
Double slots again for Central at their own 46, 2nd down and about 8. Motion the right side and a quick pass out to Ryan King. Oh, and Greg Steele misses him, but he's got some help.
That's a perfect example of what you're talking about, Cliff. They made the first down, but did you notice how the defense just swarmed to the football and kept coming that time? That could have been a lot bigger play than it was.
Well, that was just a great second effort on his part once he caught the pass, too. And he actually caught the pass late.
That'll move the chains again for the Bobcats. They're inside Temple territory now. There's the 43, 1st and 10. 8 minutes and 54 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Montgomery up the middle. He fumbles. Does he get it back?
Fumble the football.
I think he probably recovered his own fumble there, and that was the result of just a hard hit.
Well, it is also a result of a great second effort on his part. I'm really impressed with his ability to keep hanging in there.
Well, here's a piece of bad news for San Angelo Central fans. Quarterback Ben Montgomery is down. We certainly hope that he's not injured seriously at all. We never like to see any of these young men down on the field get hurt. But Ben Montgomery has been the spark plug. I'll tell you what you're going to see. You're going to see Ben Montgomery, if he's not severely injured, gets back into this game. You're going to see Ben Montgomery has some pretty impressive passing statistics this season.
I think
too good to be ignored.
He's a fine passer. He's got, like you said earlier, Cliff, just an extremely strong arm and is able to throw the deep passes.
Yeah, I've been real impressed with quarterback Ben Montgomery, and it's been a real gutsy performance tonight.
Well, he's going to come out at least temporarily. How long that will be, we don't know. But he's walking off the field, limping a little bit. May have just gotten the bell wrong. I don't know. We certainly hope it's not serious. It would appear that number 10 going in for quarterback, I believe that's Elliott Bowman. I don't know whether he's going to be quarterback or not.
Yes, it is. You're right, Cliff. Number 10, Elliott Bowman, a sophomore, comes in to replace Ben Montgomery with 8 minutes and 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Central faces a second down and 5 from the Temple 38. New quarterback. Bowman runs the veer. He's going to be to the outside. He's got good running room. Be dragged down by Greg Steele, but not until after he's picked up a first down.
Well, if you thought Montgomery was quick, what about Bowman?
Well, Bowman, it's not exactly like he's coming in cold. He's been playing wide receiver for most of the ball game, and he's a very exciting player.
And he's only a sophomore. This is a young San Angelo team.
It really is, especially in the defensive secondary. They're extremely young.
Here's the veer give this time. Up across the 25, inside the 25. That'll bring up second down and 8. Stopped by Mark Churchwell that time for Temple. 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
We might take a time out here to talk about the assistant coaches. Don Davis, Raymond Bennett, David Beal, Larry Haynes, Jim Taylor, Brent Southworth, John Kramer, Chuck Hayes, Todd Stevens, George Johnson, Don Hood, Martino, the athletic trainer Mike Lessman, and managers are Andrew Shull and Jamie Johnson. I mention these names because they do a great job and put in awful long hours.
That they do, Cliff. Elliott Bowman had the ball slip out of his hands. It did go forward. It was ruled an incomplete pass. That'll bring up third down. It does stop the clock with 7 minutes and 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Central once again in a double slot. They're going to run the veer. Bowman's going to keep. He's going to wiggle, but he's not going to break free of a host of Temple Wildcats. Priest Thomas.
And I believe Stephen Thompson was in there on that play as well. We've got Eric Adams in the ball game at left cornerback, I believe, right now. Checked in the ball game. Junior, 150 pounds. Tony Lott and the wide receiver for San Angelo have had a real battle this evening. Number 81, Ryan King, and they've been really getting after each other as they go downfield. Again, number 81 has not given up, even though it's 49-14.
Greg Norman, number 12 for Temple, in his strong safety. Bowman will drop back to pass, looking for running room. He's going to keep it. He's going to bring it down, and he's going to have the first down. A great athletic job by sophomore Elliott Bowman for the Central Bobcats. He's inside or close to the 15.
I'll tell you that time, the Wildcats were lucky they didn't get tagged with a late hit. I don't think it was deliberate, but in his enthusiasm, he got to him right on the line. And that, again, is a judgment call by the officials.
Well, he tried to hold up there, Cliff, a little bit, and he didn't spare him or anything like that, and I think that's why the official didn't call it on that play.
If you enjoyed the Temple High School band, you can thank some of these band officers. They really do a yeoman's job. Jill Jackson is the president. David Neff, the assistant drum major. Joel Bolton, head drum major. Jenny Bickerman, who's the vice president. Todd Latham is the treasurer. Wendy Adams is the reporter. Jamia Beamer Secretary, and Ashley Christ are the historians. Not the least is Ted Martin.
It was a first down for Central. They're going to be flagged for illegal procedure prior to the snap. Going to move the ball back to the 20-yard line. Central will have it 1st and 10 from the Temple 20-yard line. 1st and 15 from the Temple 20-yard line.
And you will forgive us if we have mispronounced some of these youngsters' names, because I'm sure that some of those are mispronounced. The fact of the matter is they're all out there working. They start in the summertime, too. We want to remind our viewers that these kiddos start in the summertime just like the athletes do in order to get ready for the fall season.
Exactly right, Cliff. 1st down and 15. Here's the veer give to Benny Jones. He's up close to a 5-yard gain, close to the 15-yard line.
Well, you know, Cliff, the Wildcat football team's kind of always been representative of the pride and determination of the entire student body, and I think that's been true for ever since I've known about Temple High School.
Next week, we're going to talk about the KIT. Boy, what a fine group they are. 1992 KIT officers. We'll feature them.
2nd down and 10 from the 15-yard line. Here's the veer again, and Elliott Bowman squirts inside and outside, and he's going to take it close.
I'll tell you what, Elliott Bowman, excuse me, I was just going to say, Elliott Bowman certainly impresses me to try for. He has a lot of quickness, a lot of poise. You're going to see a lot of Elliott Bowman for the next 2 years. He's just going to be dynamite, I think.
Tony Lott with a touchdown-saving tackle on that play. Elliott Bowman's got tremendous lateral quickness.
He's very quick, and he's very excited right now. He almost scored on that one. Looking forward to maybe giving it another try here with 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Central has it 1st and goal. And Benny Jones is going to be close to the touchdown. He's going to be ruled just a half yard short or so.
Well, if they score here at this point with 4:54 left in the game, it will be a moral factor for them, and they probably need that going into next week. For the Temple Wildcats, they want to just make sure that they have no major injuries at all as they get ready to go back home in preparation for next week against Converse Judson.
You know, even if they do score here, this has been a great confidence builder for the Temple Wildcats to come out here, travel 4 hours, and play a very, very talented Central football team and really dominate. Kicking game, offensively, defensively. Central does score a 1-yard sneak. That raises the score to 49-20 with the point after to come. 4 minutes and 26 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
Give credit where credit is due. The San Angelo Central Bobcats have not given up. They did not roll over and play dead. They have continued to be scrappy. They were obviously outclassed here tonight by the Temple Wildcats, but you did not get the feeling that they were ready to quit. They're still in there fighting as hard as they can. It shows a lot of class, a lot of character on their part.
Coach Dan Gandy's got to be pleased with that effort.
The extra point is good. That moves the score to 21 for the Bobcats, still 49 for the Wildcats, with 4 minutes and 26 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
I think probably we should think that at this point in time you can start thinking, turn out the lights, the party's over, because it is for all practical purposes. 49-21 really does not give you a true indication of the dominance of the Temple Wildcats, because they have really done an outstanding job of controlling everything. Only on 2 different occasions did you feel like the San Angelo had something going very, very strong. It was right before the first half, of course, and right at the beginning of the 3rd period.
Well, I think they're looking to build off something, and I think they'll try an onside kick here and try to get the ball back and get another touchdown. You know, games a lot of times are won the next week based on the ending game's previous performance, and I think the San Angelo coaches would like to see a fine finish here for their team.
This has been the epitome of Friday night football in Texas. You have an outstanding football crowd, great field conditions, super team.
Temple's onside kick team is on the field expecting the onside kick.
Michael Johnson to prepare to kick off.
Maybe a little bit short. We'll see. Yes, there goes the yellow flag.
Well, this is going to give the Wildcats good field position once again. I mentioned field position because that first half was really dictated by field position. The ball game was played down the central end of the field, Temple converting very opportunistically on some fumbles, on some miscues in the kicking game, on good defensive plays, getting up early, and really taking control of the game. And I know Coach McQueen was real glad to see that.
I'll tell you what you don't want to do with the Temple Wildcats. You don't want to give them the opportunity to be on your end of the field very often, because they have the ability to eat you alive.
4 minutes and 26 seconds left in the ball game here in San Angelo. Temple on top 49-21. They'll have it on the Central 38-yard line following a short onside attempt. Woodson gives to Wilson. Wilson's up the middle. He's got good running room. He's still on his feet. He's turning. He's down about the 21-yard line.
5'8", 150 pounds. He carries 3 tacklers with him.
Well, the Wildcats are bringing in the second unit at this time. Again, those kids do a great job working hard all week. This is great to get to see, give them a chance to play and get them some action. Most of the time, their job is to recreate the opposing team's offense and defense, and they do just an outstanding job.
Quarterback Justin Lee will head the Wildcats now. Temple will enjoy the benefits of a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the San Angelo Central Bobcats. That'll move the ball down close to the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from that point.
You can look down on the San Angelo Central bench and see that quarterback Ben Montgomery is standing up. Apparently not going to see any more action tonight, but he apparently is not hurt severely, and that's good news for San Angelo Central fans. He did take a hard lick, got his bell rung, but I'm sure that we're going to see that young man next week.
Indeed, Cliff. Here's a give to Gerald Watson. He cuts back, and he's over for the touchdown. A great play by the Wildcats. A give and a good cutback, a good run. That'll put 6 more on the board. That'll move the scoreboard to 55 now for the Wildcats.
That looks like a student body left.
Well, I promise you that second unit takes a lot of pride, and they're really glad that they got that touchdown.
You know, I don't like to use the word second unit, and I'll tell you why. Because they're not second in any sense of the word. They give it all every day of the week. They're out there. They do just as much hard work as the starters, and their efforts pay off. There's a good example of it.
Absolutely, Cliff. You're absolutely right. And many times they're called upon in critical situations to come in and deliver.
Okay, the point after is good by Danny Magana. So Temple takes it 38 yards in 2 plays, an 11-yard penalty. That makes the score 56 for Temple and 21 for San Angelo Central with 4 minutes and 7 seconds left in the 4th quarter. We'll be back right after this.
Cafe on the Square in Georgetown is a very special place. People from all over Central Texas enjoy the unique atmosphere and delicious food. After a hard day, Cafe on the Square is a great place to relax for dinner. Choose from a variety of beautifully prepared entrees, including steak, seafood, and pasta. The Sunday buffet is special at Cafe on the Square. For brunch or Sunday dinner, all your favorite dishes are prepared and served with Cafe's own original charm. Cafe on the Square in Georgetown. ThereThere's just no place like it.
Okay, we're back for the last 4 minutes and 7 seconds of this one here in San Angelo. The Wildcats of Temple on top 56-21 over a good, talented Central football team, and a great victory for the Wildcats here within 4 minutes and 7 seconds.
We're just talking about the extra points, Mark, and you might elaborate a little bit about what we were talking about during the break.
Well, I believe Magana's 8 for 8 on his extra points. Excuse me. Yes, 8 for 8 on his extra points. He's done a great job kicking the football tonight. And again, great coverage by the Wildcat team. We have number 16, Warwick Bonds, the junior, in there on the tackle.
You know, let's talk about Warwick Bonds. He did exactly what you're coached to do. Stayed at home. That's what the coaches continue to tell these youngsters. Stay at home. Don't let them get you out of position. And he was the last man. As defensive line goes, he did just exactly what he was supposed to do.
Central has it at its own 12-yard line. 4 minutes and 2 seconds left.
Uh-oh, we had a little jumping off there by Bobcats.
49, Tim Alexander, I believe, is in there at cornerback, as well as number 81, Tony Bain is in the ball game.
Number 27, Eric Womack in at one corner. Number 77, Gary Lyman in.
Jones, the ball carrier.
Number 79, Alton Berry in.
Second down, 12.
Well, the Wildcats are going to face a stiff test next week, Cliff. They're going to have to travel to San Antonio and play an outstanding football team.
Bowman carries for a gain of 4. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in this one.
I'll tell you what, as a quarterback, he's certainly not afraid to mix it up.
Not at all.
Third down now for Central. They're at their own 17.5-yard line.
This will put the Wildcats at 3-0 this season.
Number 51, Noah Dunham in at middle linebacker for the Wildcats. The drop back by Bowman, he's going to throw it out. He's going to throw it complete to Ryan King. He's very elusive. He's still on his feet. It's going to be a gain of 8 yards. Good for a first down for the Central Bobcats.
Ryan King's got more moves than Elvis.
He
puts some hip fakes on there.
He really does, but that Wildcat defense kept coming and coming. That's a great job on defense.
Clock stops while they move the chains, and now they wind it up again. 2 minutes and 35 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Temple on top, 56-21. Bowman underneath again for the Bobcats. He's going to drop back, looking left this time. He's going to take it, cut up. He's going to be up the field for about a 4-yard gain. Number 12, Greg Norman checks in for the Wildcats. Second down and 5. Call it a gain of 5 for Bowman. The sophomore, 150-pounder, come in to replace the injured Ben Montgomery for the Central Bobcats.
Victory number 3 for Coach Bob McQueen this season.
Well, Bowman executes a great fake and brings it outside of Revere and gets tangled up in his own feet. I didn't see any Wildcats out there.
I don't know. Mark, I couldn't tell. Was he diving? Did he think that he was going to dive for the first down? He was well past the yard.
No, I think he was trying to make a move on the defensive back and just stumble a little bit.
Clock rolling. 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Looking ahead at the schedule, you not only have the Wildcats facing Converse Judson, they have Tyler Lee to face. Little town not too damn far down the road named Pauline. Little one not too far up the road named Waco. All in a day's work, Coach Bob McQueen.
It's a lot of hard work, but you know there's a lot of excitement too, and you know that's it's not any trouble at all to get up from week to week. You just got one big game after the other, and these Wildcats, I'll have to say, tonight's response very impressive. I've been very impressed with their discipline and their character coming back after a big emotional win last week and playing a good San Angelo Central team and really dominating the whole game. Bowman dropped. We call it a half-yard sack. I believe he was stopped behind the line there by the Temple defense.
I believe that was number 79, Alton Berry.
What can you say about the secondary coverage by the backup unit?
Great job.
Yeah, they really are.
Great job.
It's been a long night for San Angelo Central. They just were not able to get it uncorked in the first half, and by the midpoint of the second period, were working out of a very, very deep hole, and they just simply never recovered. You do have the feeling, as Mark, you and Gordon alluded to earlier, they do have that explosive ability and that streakiness. You can see that potential. but not against a team that has just absolutely dominated every phase of the game.
Well, I look forward to following them all year. In their district, they're really the only ones that throw the football like this, so I'm gonna keep track of them, and I think they've got a lot of juniors, and I think that before the season's over, they're going to have some real fine wins.
A few familiar names in that district, 4 or 5A, I believe it is. Central and Odessa Permian, Midland Lee. I'm going to try to set up the screen again. It's going to fall short. Bowman's pass falling incomplete. That will make it 4th down with 1 minute and 2 seconds left to go.
I think they're going to let him come over the sidelines and talk it over. I would think that at this point in time they would not punt. They'll go for it. Sure, they've got nothing to lose at this point in time, theoretically. Temple leading 56-21, 1:02 left in this contest.
And they will. They'll talk it over. They'll line up on a 4th and 10 attempt. Temple's defense. Bowman scrambling again. He's going to throw complete.
Number 61, Brandon Waters for San Angelo, just made a tremendous block for his quarterback that time.
That ball complete to Benny Dupree for the Bobcats. Benny Dupree catching that 66-yard strike from Montgomery at the end of the first half there.
I was going to say that Bowman certainly had a heads-up play that time. Showed a lot of poise for a sophomore. He paid the price for it. He got flattened by that aggressive Temple defense. But that youngster shows a lot of poise for a sophomore, I'll tell you.
Well, when you're converting 4th downs and the score is 56-21 like it is, I mean, that shows an awful lot of character about the San Angelo team.
Temple's quick strike tonight, I think, the story of this night's game. Up 35-0 at one point. Very opportunistic, forcing turnovers, taking the ball on some short drives, taking command early, and staying in command the whole game. Central did make a run there at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second. They closed the score to 35-14. The Temple answered with a big statement of their own, driving 70 yards to go up on top. .53 seconds left in this one. Bowman underneath, drops back. He's going to air it out, and it's going to be caught by Central's 81, Ryan King, down to the 1-yard line. That's a 40-yard completion from sophomore Elliott Bowman to Ryan King.
Pays your dues and takes your chances. That one paid off.
Great play, number 81. He's had a fine game tonight.
Tremendous pass that time by Eric Bowman.
47 seconds left.
And don't you know, with the clock ticking down now, they want to get in for that score.
The referee winds the clock down to 38 seconds. Here's the give. Here's the keep. Excuse me. Elliott Bowman is in from 1 yard out. An impressive drive engineered by sophomore Elliott Bowman. Point after attempt to come. Temple on top, 56-27. 35 seconds left in this one.
Well, that will make this week's practice a lot easier for San Angelo, I'm sure. They'll feel a lot better about themselves.
It's up and it's good.
We'll be back right after this.
One dealer, one event, one price. It's the Johnson Brothers Ford One Price Clearance Sale, where we've received our final huge shipment of 92s, and they're all one price to save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Like our huge selection of 92 Explorers, 2-wheel and 4-wheel drive models, and each one of them is discounted to sell. Or take a look at one of our largest selection of 92 Tauruses of the year. Once again, one price before you even get here to save you money. Beat the 93 price increases by buying now. Johnson Brothers Ford, take the Adams Avenue exit off I-35 in Temple.
Welcome back. Central will try their Onside kick attempt again. It will be recovered by Temple. Damian Johnson on the recovery there. And I know the Wildcat defense hated to give up that last score, Mark, but you've got to be impressed with the Temple Wildcats tonight. They came a long way to play a good football team and played extremely well.
Well, they really have. They've done a great job. As you look forward to San Angelo's schedule, next week they'll be heading to Lubbock, Coronado to play, and I believe that's their last non-conference games, and then they swing into district play against Midland Lee. So they have a lot to look forward to and a lot of work to look ahead to.
And speaking of next week, this win over a good Central team will set up the number 1 ranked Temple Wildcats and the converse Judson Rockets. Temple will travel to San Antonio next week to take on the high-powered Rockets. I think it's been something like 4 years since they lost at home. It's an unbelievable number. I don't know the exact one-loss record there, but the Judson Rockets have an outstanding football team again. They beat San Antonio Marshall last week. Marshall making the state finals, losing to Permian last year in the small school category. 9 seconds left. 6, 5, 4, and the Wildcats will count it down. And that's it. The final score from San Angelo, the Temple Wildcats 56, the San Angelo Bobcats 28. We'll be back right after this to wrap it up.
At King's Daughters Hospital, we deliver bouncing baby boys, bouncing baby girls, and all the joy that bouncing babies bring. King's Daughters Hospital, delivering happy babies to you.
G. Willie's now has the most exciting game in Central Texas. QB1, the interactive TV game where you play along during live professional and college football games and can compete for valuable prizes nationally. Large portions of great food and a lively and entertaining atmosphere sure to please the entire family. G. Willie's, with the largest big-screen TV in Central Texas and the only place you can play along with QB1, the interactive TV game. G. Willie's, just east of the Mall on the Loop, Temple.
Well, the Temple Wildcats make it 3 in a row with a 56-28 victory over San Angelo Central, and the Bobcats just didn't have a fighting chance. And Mark, San Angelo started off in bad field position during the first half of play and never really got on track tonight.
I think the mark of a good football team is to take advantage of the opportunities they have, and the Wildcats did that this evening. I think the offensive line played extremely well. The Wildcats are going to face a tremendous challenge next week, Cliff, and they've got to continue to work to get better each and every week.
Now, Gordon, we talked about field position. You talked about it at the first half. San Angelo had horrible field position, plus the defensive unit of the Wildcats forced all the turnovers, and they were almost out of this football game midway through the second period.
You know, that's right. The first quarter was definitely played in Central's end of the field, and Temple was very opportunistic, taking advantage of the breaks they made, driving short yards, short distances for their touchdowns, and really taking control early, which is a big key, as you mentioned.
You know, Mark, when we talk about the Wildcats, we talk about every phase of their game was clicking tonight. The special teams, the kicking game, passing, rushing. But I think the running game is probably going to please Coach Bob McQueen more than anything else.
I think you're right, Cliff, because last week they had a little trouble running the football and had to rely on the pass. He would most like to have a mix, a 50-50 mix if he can. And I think this week showed that they can run the football, and they've got to be very pleased with that.
Let's talk just a minute, fellas, about the San Angelo Central Bobcats. Here's a team that has wild scoring abilities. They did not give up. You saw 28 points on the board. They can score the football. They need some help in the defensive area because they're giving up an awful lot of points. But the bottom line is that they never quit. They came back with a late score in the first half and followed that with a quick score in the third period, and suddenly they were almost back in it. But what happened? The Temple Wildcat defensive unit takes over. The offense marches down the field, and they answer it with a comeback score, and that effectively sealed the lid, don't you think?
Well, it did, Cliff, and the fact that Temple had a 35-0 lead at one time, that was a good feeling, because you always knew there was a possibility that Central would make a run, like Mark mentioned, and And they did, to sort. The Wildcats snuffed it out, like you said, with that 70-yard drive in the third quarter.
Okay, now, fellas, let's look ahead. 1 week. You can't have any victory celebrations that last any long periods of time because you're looking up and you have a tremendous opponent next week, and you've got to play them in their own home yard, just like they travel here to San Angelo. The Wildcats must go to San Antonio to face none other than Converse Judson. That will not be an easy football game for Temple.
No, it won't, Cliff. And I think in any big ball game, you've got to play great defense. You have to make sure you take care of the kicking game, and also you can't have a whole lot of turnovers. And so I think the game is going to rest on those factors, as well as the Wildcat offense continuing to perform the way they have so far this year.
And, you know, the Judson Rockets, Temple has another opportunity next week. They broke Odessa Permian's 18-game winning streak last week at Wildcat Stadium. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but Judson is undefeated in 3 or 4 years there in San Antonio. So it will be a great challenge for the Wildcats to improve. I know tonight's game, Coach McQueen must be pleased with the progression of his team up to this point, and it just gets more exciting week to week.
Yes, and I know the fans are going to look forward to go down to San Antonio and visit that beautiful city and watch an outstanding football game. Well, once again, our final score, the Temple Wildcats 56. The time of the San Angelo, I'm getting ahead of myself, not Converse Judson. I'm sure that's what Bob McQueen will like. San Angelo, the Central Bobcats, scored a total of 28 points. That makes the Bobcats 1 and 2. It makes the Temple Wildcats 3-0. They're ranked #1 in the state, and they probably will hang on to that ranking at least for this next week. On behalf of Gordon and Mark and the cast and crew of Laura Communications, I'm Cliff Brown. So long, everybody.